Welcome to Sports Slumber. As the evening settles gently over the neighborhood and the outside world grows quiet, it is time for you to finally rest. The day has finished its work and there is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing more you need to do tonight. You can just lie here, safe and warm, surrounded by the soft fabrics of your bed, and let the gentle rhythm of the night take over. You are welcome to close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath in, and let it out with a soft sigh. Feel the weight of your shoulders sinking down into the mattress. Feel the tension leaving your hands, your arms, and your back. You are safe. You are comfortable. You are entirely at peace. Tonight, we will explore a quiet, vast space. We will walk slowly through an environment built on dedication, gently tracing the legacy of a man whose presence is as large as a mountain, yet whose quiet moments of creation and thought built an empire that stretches far beyond the boundaries of a simple game. As we prepare to wander through these calm memories, take just a moment to quietly subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It is a simple, gentle way to ensure that this peaceful space is always waiting for you right here at the end of every long day. You will never have to search for a calming voice in the dark. It will simply be here, ready to guide you into rest. And please remember, as we begin this quiet journey, you do not need to stay awake to hear the end. You can drift off to sleep at any moment. There are no sudden surprises, no loud sounds, and nothing you will miss. If sleep comes to you early, welcome it. The story will continue to murmur softly in the background, a gentle companion for your dreams. Imagine yourself standing in the exact center of a vast, empty indoor arena. The crowds have long since gone home. The doors are locked, the parking lots are empty, and the great building has settled into a deep, peaceful slumber. The bright, glaring lights of the day have been turned off, replaced by a row of soft, warm maintenance lights that cast long, gentle shadows across the floor. The only sound is the low, steady hum of the building's quiet ventilation system, breathing warm air evenly through the massive space. It sounds like the distant sigh of an ocean, a constant, reassuring whisper that fills the emptiness with a sense of calm. You look down at your feet. You are standing on a floor made of perfectly polished maple wood. The planks are narrow, fitted tightly together, forming a smooth, golden expanse that stretches out toward the edges of the room. You take a slow, quiet step forward. The rubber of your shoe makes a soft, muted sound against the wood. You take another step and then another, feeling the solid, unyielding strength of the floor beneath you. This floor was built to hold giants. It was built to withstand the immense weight and power of the strongest athletes in the world. But right now, in the stillness of the night, it holds only you. It feels incredibly grounded, incredibly safe. You reach down and press your hand flat against the cool, smooth surface of the maple. You can feel the slight ridges of the wood grain, smoothed over by layers of thick, clear varnish. It is cool to the touch and perfect. You stand back up and look around the empty arena. The thousands of seats that rise up in tiers around you are cloaked in soft shadows. They are waiting patiently for another day, but tonight they are simply part of the quiet architecture of rest. You walk slowly toward one end of the court, your footsteps echoing ever so faintly in the large room. At the far end, hanging quietly in the air, is a glass backboard and an orange rim. A white net hangs perfectly still beneath it. There is no motion in the air to disturb it. It looks like a frozen moment in time. As you stand beneath the rim, you think of the gentle giant who once made this space his home, Shaquille O'Neal, a name that brings to mind immense physical presence, a towering figure who moved with surprising grace. But tonight, we are not looking at the roar of the crowds or the bright flashes of cameras. We are looking at the quiet spaces, the calm environments, and the steady, thoughtful moments that shaped a mind capable of building a vast business empire. We are looking at the stillness that exists behind the power. You turn away from the court and walk toward a set of heavy wooden doors that lead into the tunnels of the arena. You push one door open, and it glides silently on its hinges. The hallway before you is softly lit by warm wall sconces. The floor here is covered in a thick, dark carpet that completely absorbs the sound of your footsteps. It feels like walking on a cloud. The air in the hallway is slightly cooler, smelling faintly of clean cotton and polished brass. You walk slowly down the corridor, feeling a profound sense of isolation and peace. The thick walls of the arena block out all sounds from the outside world. There is no traffic, no wind, no distant voices. There is only the quiet luxury of this hidden space. You come to a room with an open door. The light inside is a warm, inviting amber. You step inside and find yourself in a spacious, perfectly organized private office. This is a room dedicated to quiet reflection and careful planning. The walls are lined with dark mahogany bookshelves, filled with heavy, leather-bound books. In the center of the room sits a massive, polished wooden desk. It is a desk built for a large man, a giant of industry. The surface is completely clear, save for a single desk lamp with a green glass shade, casting a pool of warm light onto a clean, white notepad. You walk over to the desk and gently run your fingers along its smooth edge. The wood feels ancient and wise. You imagine the giant sitting here late at night, long after the games were over, studying ledgers, reading contracts, and building a future. He was a man who understood that true power was not just physical but intellectual. He understood the value of patience, of slow growth, and of careful investment. You pull out the heavy leather chair behind the desk and sit down. The leather is soft and worn, contouring perfectly to your body. It feels like a warm embrace. You lean back and look at the ceiling, taking another deep, slow breath. The room is incredibly silent. It is a silence that invites thought, a silence that allows the mind to stretch out and relax. Sitting in this quiet room, your mind drifts back in time, tracing the gentle path of the giant's early life. You imagine a quiet, snowy evening in Newark, New Jersey decades ago. The year is gently fading into winter. Outside a small brick apartment building, the snow is falling in thick, heavy flakes, covering the streets and the sidewalks in a blanket of pure white. The city sounds are muffled by the snow, turning the normally busy streets into a hushed, peaceful landscape. Inside a small, warm apartment, a young boy is sitting by the window, watching the snow fall. The room is heated by a clanking iron radiator that gives off a steady, comforting warmth. The boy is already much taller than the other children his age. He rests his chin on his hands, looking out at the streetlights illuminating the falling snow. The flakes swirl lazily through the cones of yellow light, floating down to rest gently on the ground. He feels safe in the quiet warmth of the room. The smell of dinner cooking on the stove drifts through the air, a rich, savory scent that promises comfort and fullness. In this quiet moment, there is no pressure, no expectation. There is only the gentle rhythm of a family settling in for the night. The young boy watches the snow, feeling a quiet strength growing inside him. He does not yet know the massive stages he will stand upon, nor the empires he will build. He only knows the peace of this snowy evening, the warmth of the radiator, and the gentle, muffled quiet of the world outside. The scene shifts softly like a page turning slowly in a heavy book. The young giant has moved. He is older now, living in a calm, orderly environment far from the snowy streets of New Jersey. You imagine a quiet evening on a military base in Germany. The air here is different. It is crisp, clean, and smells of dark pine forests and cold earth. The sky is a deep, clear indigo, dotted with thousands of brilliant stars. The base is impeccably neat, with perfectly paved roads and orderly rows of buildings. It is an environment of structure, of rules, and of quiet discipline. You picture the tall teenager walking alone along a tree-lined path just as the sun dips below the horizon. The tall pine trees stand like silent sentinels on either side of the road, their dark needles whispering softly in the evening breeze. The sound of the wind through the pines is a soothing, rushing sound, like water flowing over smooth stones. The young man walks with a slow, measured stride. He is learning the value of routine, the comfort of order. He understands that within structure there is safety. The discipline of the military environment is seeping into his bones, teaching him how to focus his immense energy, how to direct his strength toward a purpose. He stops walking for a moment and looks up at the stars. The night air is cool against his face. He takes a deep breath of the pine-scented air, filling his large lungs, and slowly lets it out. He feels grounded. He feels focused. The quiet stillness of the German forest wraps around him like a protective cloak. In this peaceful solitude, he is laying the foundation for a mind that will later analyze complex business deals with the same quiet focus he uses to study the night sky. The discipline learned in the quiet evenings of his youth will become the bedrock of his future empire. You continue to sit in the heavy leather chair in the darkened arena office, feeling the quiet echoes of these memories settling around you. The pool of light from the green glass lamp seems to grow slightly warmer. You let your eyes slowly close for a moment, enjoying the absolute stillness of the room. There is no rush. There is no hurry. The night stretches out before you, long and peaceful and calm. When you open your eyes again, you find yourself walking through a different kind of night. You are walking across a beautiful, sprawling college campus in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It is late evening, and the air is thick, warm, and sweet with the smell of jasmine and damp earth. Large, ancient oak trees line the brick pathways, their massive branches reaching out across the sky, draped in long, gray curtains of Spanish moss. The moss hangs completely still in the humid air, looking like soft, woven blankets suspended above you. The campus is quiet. Most of the students have retired to their dormitories for the night. The only sounds are the rhythmic chirping of crickets hidden in the thick grass and the occasional low, resonant croak of a bullfrog from a nearby pond. The warm air feels like a soft weight against your skin, relaxing your muscles and slowing your movements. You walk slowly along the brick path, feeling the uneven texture of the old stones beneath your feet. You approach a large, stately library building made of pale stone. The tall windows glow with a soft, yellow light, casting long rectangles of brightness onto the dark grass outside. You step quietly through the heavy glass doors into the cool, air-conditioned interior of the library. The sudden change in temperature is refreshing, a cool wash over your warm skin. The library smells of old paper, leather bindings, and polished wood. It is a sanctuary of quiet thought. You walk slowly down an aisle between towering bookshelves. The silence here is profound, broken only by the soft hum of the air conditioning and the occasional distant rustle of a page being turned. You reach the end of the aisle and look toward a large oak table sitting in a quiet alcove. Sitting at the table, completely absorbed in a heavy textbook, is the young giant. He is a college student now, studying the principles of business, finance, and economics. While others might focus solely on his physical dominance on the court, he is quietly, patiently building his mind. He turns a page slowly, his large hand moving with surprising delicacy. He takes notes on a lined pad, his handwriting neat and precise. He is learning the language of contracts, the architecture of investments, and the structure of corporations. He sits in the quiet library for hours, bathed in the soft light of a reading lamp, long after the campus outside has gone to sleep. He is comfortable in the silence. He is comfortable with the slow, deliberate work of learning. He knows that the physical body will eventually slow down, but the mind, if properly trained, will only grow stronger. The quiet library, with its rows of silent books and its cool, still air, is the perfect environment for a giant to learn how to build an empire. You watch him for a few moments, feeling a sense of deep respect for his quiet dedication. Then you turn and walk slowly back down the aisle, your footsteps making no sound on the carpeted floor. You leave the library and step back out into the warm, humid Louisiana night. The crickets are still singing their steady, rhythmic song. The Spanish moss hangs quietly from the branches. You take a slow, deep breath of the sweet, heavy air, feeling completely at peace. The memories gently shift again, moving forward through time, carrying you effortlessly to a new environment. You are now standing in a magnificent, high-rise office overlooking a vast American city. It is late at night. The office is dark, lit only by the ambient glow of the city lights pouring in through the floor-to-ceiling windows. You walk slowly toward the glass and look out. The city is a sea of glittering lights stretching out to the horizon. There are ribbons of white and red light tracing the paths of the highways, the slow, steady movement of cars winding through the night. The tall buildings are dark silhouettes against the deep blue of the night sky, their windows twinkling like stars fallen to earth. It is a beautiful, silent panorama. The glass of the window is cool against your forehead as you lean close to look down at the streets far below. From this height, the city makes no sound. It is just a quiet, glowing map of human endeavor. You turn around and look at the office. It is elegant and minimalist. The floors are made of dark, polished concrete, and the walls are painted a soft, matte charcoal. In the center of the room sits a long, sleek conference table made of a single slab of dark walnut. Surrounded by modern, comfortable chairs, the table is empty, clear of all papers and folders. It is waiting for the next day's discussions, the next deals to be made, the next partnerships to be formed. This is the control room of the empire. This is where the giant, now a seasoned businessman, sits quietly in the evenings, looking out over the city and thinking about the future. He has built a vast network of investments, from restaurants to technology, from real estate to media. He has used the wealth generated by his physical strength to create a foundation of intellectual and financial power that will last for generations. And he has done it with a calm, steady hand. You walk over to a comfortable leather armchair sitting near the window and sink into it. The chair is deep and soft. You rest your arms on the armrests and look back out at the city lights. You imagine him sitting in this exact chair, holding a warm cup of herbal tea, the steam rising in a thin, twisting column in the cool air of the office. He takes a slow sip, feeling the warmth spread through his chest. He watches the lights of the cars moving slowly along the distant highways. He is a man who has achieved the highest levels of success, yet he remains grounded, steady, and calm. He thinks about the people he employs, the communities he supports, and the legacy he is building. He is not just a brand. He is a provider, a creator, a quiet force for growth. The peace in this high-rise office is absolute. It is the peace of a job well done, of a mind at rest, of a future secured. You close your eyes again, listening to the very faint, almost imperceptible hum of the building's climate control. It is a soothing, constant sound like the purr of a sleeping cat. You let yourself sink deeper into the leather chair, feeling the safety and security of the room wrapping around you. As you rest in the quiet office, you realize that the giant's journey was never just about noise or spectacle. It was a journey made of millions of quiet moments. It was the slow, steady practice of a free throw in an empty gym. It was the quiet hours spent reading a textbook in a silent library. It was the peaceful evenings spent watching the snow fall in Newark, learning the value of stillness. It was the disciplined walks through the German pine forests, learning the power of focus. All of these quiet moments, strung together over a lifetime, built the man who built the empire. You slowly stand up from the leather chair and begin to walk around the perimeter of the office. You run your hand lightly along the smooth, cool glass of the windows. The city lights blur slightly as you move, a continuous ribbon of gentle illumination. You step toward a large, abstract painting hanging on one of the charcoal walls. In the dim light, the colors are muted, soft blues and deep grays, blending together like clouds in a night sky. You stand before it, letting your eyes trace the gentle curves and lines of the paint. There are no sharp edges, no jarring colors. It is a painting meant to soothe, meant to calm the mind after a long day of decision-making. You walk to the other side of the room, where a small, quiet water feature stands against the wall. A thin sheet of water flows smoothly over a slab of dark slate, disappearing into a bed of smooth black river stones. The sound of the water is incredibly gentle. It is not a splash or a roar, but a constant, delicate trickling. It sounds like a tiny, secret brook hidden deep in a forest. You stand near the water feature, closing your eyes and just listening. The sound washes over you, carrying away any lingering thoughts or worries. It is a pure, cleansing sound. You take another slow, deep breath, feeling the cool, slightly humid air near the water feature entering your lungs. You let it out with a long, soft exhalation. Your shoulders drop a little further. Your neck relaxes, your jaw releases. You feel entirely weightless, floating in the calm, peaceful atmosphere of the room. You imagine the giant standing here, perhaps doing the same thing, taking a moment to breathe, to listen to the water, to disconnect from the demands of the world. Even giants need to rest. Even empires need moments of complete stillness. The journey continues, softly carrying you from the high-rise office back into the quiet, carpeted corridors of the hidden spaces. You find yourself walking down a new hallway. This one is lined with large, framed photographs, softly illuminated by small overhead lights. The photographs are in black and white, adding a timeless, peaceful quality to the images. You walk slowly past them, taking the time to look at each one. The first photograph shows a close-up of a basketball resting on a wooden floor. The texture of the leather is incredibly detailed, every tiny bump and groove visible in the soft light. It looks perfectly still, an object of potential energy waiting patiently for the game to begin. The next photograph shows an empty locker room. The wooden stalls are neat and tidy. A single, enormous white towel is draped perfectly over the back of a wooden bench. The room looks calm, orderly, and prepared. There is a sense of quiet anticipation, but no anxiety, just a calm readiness. You move to the next picture. It shows a pair of massive basketball shoes, size 22, resting on a polished stone floor. They are pristine, the white leather gleaming softly. They look less like shoes and more like quiet monuments to strength and stability. You look at the heavy rubber soles, imagining the solid grip they must have on the hardwood floor. They represent a foundation, a wide, stable base upon which a massive structure can be built. The hallway seems to stretch on gently, curving slightly to the right. The dark carpet continues to absorb your footsteps, maintaining the absolute silence of the space. You reach a small alcove off the main hallway. Inside, there is a comfortable velvet bench sitting beneath a soft spotlight. You walk into the alcove and sit on the velvet. It is plush and soft, a deep, rich blue color. Across from the bench is a glass display case. Inside the case, resting on a bed of dark silk, is a single heavy championship ring. The ring is thick and made of gleaming gold, encrusted with small, clear stones that catch the light and sparkle faintly. But in this quiet setting, it does not look flashy or loud. It simply looks heavy, solid, and permanent. It is a physical manifestation of years of quiet, disciplined work. It is the result of thousands of unseen hours of practice, of late-night studying, of slow, steady improvement. It is a symbol of a goal achieved not through sudden, frantic effort, but through a long, patient, unyielding journey. You look at the ring, resting peacefully on the silk, and you feel a sense of completion. You feel the satisfaction of a long journey that has reached a calm, successful destination. You sit on the velvet bench for a long time, just breathing and watching the faint sparkle of the ring in the dim light. The silence in the alcove is deep and comforting. You feel perfectly safe, perfectly hidden from the busy world outside. This is a sanctuary of history, a quiet place where memories are preserved in stillness and peace. Eventually, you stand up from the velvet bench and step back out into the softly lit hallway. You continue your slow, peaceful walk. The air remains cool and fresh, with that faint, clean scent of polished wood and cotton. You are moving without effort, simply gliding through the quiet spaces. The environment around you begins to soften, the edges blurring slightly as your mind relaxes further. You find yourself back in the vast, empty arena where we first began. But now, it feels even more peaceful, even more expansive. The warm maintenance lights still cast their gentle glow across the polished maple floor. The ventilation system continues its low, rhythmic breathing. You walk out to the very center of the court and lie down on your back, right on the smooth, solid wood. It is surprisingly comfortable. The wood is perfectly flat and supports your back evenly. You look straight up at the high ceiling. The vast space above you feels like a dark, protective canopy. You close your eyes and listen to the silence of the arena. You can feel the history of the building, the echoes of the giant who once played here, but they are soft echoes, gentle vibrations that soothe rather than excite. You imagine the countless times he stood on this very spot, taking a deep breath before a free throw, the slow bounce of the heavy leather ball on the wood. Thump, 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 a rhythmic hypnotic sound, the ball leaving his massive hands spinning slowly through the air and falling silently through the white net, a perfect, quiet moment of physics and geometry. You picture that slow, steady bounce again. Thump, thump, thump. It matches the beating of your own heart. Slow, steady, calm. You lie on the cool maple floor, feeling the vastness of the space around you. You are small in this giant building, but you do not feel lost. You feel protected. The heavy walls keep the outside world away. The soft lights provide just enough illumination to feel secure. The gentle hum of the air fills the silence with a comforting presence. You take a long, slow breath in, feeling your chest rise. You hold it for just a second, and then release it slowly, feeling your body sink a fraction of an inch deeper into the solid wood floor. Your mind drifts away from the arena, floating gently back to the images of the giant's quiet life. You see him sitting in his high-rise office, watching the city lights. You see him in the silent college library, surrounded by old books. You see him walking through the dark, quiet pine forests of Germany. You see the young boy watching the snow fall in Newark. All of these moments blend together into a continuous stream of peaceful imagery. There is a deep, abiding calm in knowing that even the largest, most powerful figures in the world have these quiet, private moments. Behind the roaring crowds, behind the bright lights, behind the massive business empires, there is a fundamental need for stillness. There is a need to sit quietly and watch the snow fall. There is a need to walk alone in the woods and listen to the wind. There is a need to sit in a quiet room and simply breathe. You are sharing in that stillness now. You are partaking in the quiet peace that exists at the center of every giant endeavor. You let your thoughts become slower, heavier. The images in your mind become softer, less distinct. The snow falling in Newark becomes a gentle, white blur. The pine trees in Germany become dark, soft shapes. The city lights from the office window become a slow, rhythmic pulsing of soft colors. You focus entirely on the physical sensations of resting, the feeling of the soft fabrics of your own bed against your skin, the perfect temperature of the air in your room, the rhythmic rising and falling of your chest as you breathe. You let go of any need to hold on to the story. You let the words simply wash over you, a gentle murmur of sound that has no demands and no expectations. The giant has finished his work for the day. The empire is built, the offices are dark, the arena is empty and locked, everything is safe, everything is exactly as it should be. There is nothing left to do but rest. You take another slow, deep breath. The air is so cool, so clean, you let it out with a soft sigh. Your hands are completely relaxed. Your feet are heavy. Your mind is quiet. You imagine walking down one last long corridor. This corridor is lined with thick, heavy curtains made of dark blue velvet. The curtains absorb all sound, creating a space of absolute pure silence. You walk slowly, your hand brushing against the soft velvet. The fabric feels cool and incredibly soft. You reach the end of the corridor and find a large, comfortable bed waiting for you. It is covered in thick, white blankets and soft, heavy pillows. The room is dark, lit only by a single, small candle resting on a nightstand. The flame of the candle barely flickers, casting a warm, steady, golden light across the white blankets. You climb into the bed and pull the heavy blankets up over your shoulders. They feel like a warm, protective embrace. You sink your head into the soft pillows. The scent of lavender and clean cotton surrounds you. You watch the small, steady flame of the candle for a moment, letting its gentle light soothe your eyes. Then very slowly you let your eyes close. You let the darkness wash over you. It is a soft, comforting darkness. It is the darkness of a deep, restful night. The memory of the giant, the memory of the empty arena, the memory of the quiet office, they all fade away, leaving only a sense of profound peace and safety. You are floating in a calm, quiet sea of rest. The gentle rhythm of your breathing is the only movement, in and out, slow and steady, calm and deep. You feel the weight of your body pressing down into the mattress, completely supported, completely relaxed. The silence of the room is beautiful. It is a thick, luxurious silence that wraps around you like a blanket. You let yourself drift deeper and deeper into the calm. There are no thoughts, no worries, no plans. There is only the gentle, rhythmic rise and fall of your chest. There is only the soft, warm darkness behind your eyelids. You are safe. You are warm. You are ready to sleep. The slow, steady rhythm of the night carries you forward. The quiet hum of the arena's ventilation system, the soft ticking of the clock in the mahogany office, the gentle rustle of the pine needles in the German forest, they all merge into a single, continuous, soothing sound. It is the sound of time passing slowly and peacefully. It is the sound of the world resting. You let your mind wander through the soft, blurry landscapes of sleep. You see gentle hills covered in dark green grass, illuminated by the pale light of a full moon. You see a quiet, slow-moving river reflecting the stars in its dark water. You feel a soft, cool breeze brushing against your face. You are walking slowly through this peaceful dreamscape, feeling entirely unburdened. Every step you take is light and effortless. The Giants' legacy is no longer a story of basketball or business. It has transformed into a feeling of absolute stability and calm. It is the feeling of a strong, solid foundation beneath your feet. It is the knowledge that you are protected, that you are safe, and that everything is fundamentally all right. You carry this feeling with you as you drift deeper into the dreamscape. You let it settle into your bones, a quiet, unshakable peace. You find yourself standing near the edge of the quiet river. The water flows smoothly and silently over smooth, dark stones. You sit down on the grassy bank and watch the water move. The moonlight creates a shimmering path of silver across the surface. You focus on the slow, steady movement of the water. It is hypnotic. It is endlessly calming. You watch a single, fallen leaf drift slowly past you on the current. You watch it until it disappears into the gentle shadows downriver. Your breathing slows down even further, matching the slow, lazy pace of the river. You take a breath in, drawing the cool, fresh air of the dreamscape into your lungs. You let it out, feeling a profound sense of release. All the tension, all the effort, all the energy of the day flows out of you and is carried away by the gentle river. You are empty, clean, and completely at rest. The soft, golden light of the candle from the velvet room seems to appear in the distance, a small, warm beacon in the cool blue night. You watch it glow steadily, a symbol of the quiet warmth and safety that surrounds you. The light does not waver. It does not flicker. It simply shines with a quiet, persistent calm. You let the light fill your mind, a soft, golden glow that pushes away any remaining shadows. The journey is slow, beautiful, and completely without effort. You are simply existing in a state of deep, restorative peace. The vastness of the empty arena, the quiet luxury of the high-rise office, the serene beauty of the Louisiana oak trees, they are all within you now, woven into the fabric of your rest. They provide a calm, steady background for your dreams. You are a giant in your own peaceful realm, supported by the quiet strength of the night. As you lie there, feeling the soft embrace of the darkness, you notice the absolute stillness of the air around you. There is no draft, no chill, just a perfect, neutral warmth that makes it impossible to tell where your body ends and the soft blankets begin. You are completely enveloped in comfort. The gentle current of the river in your mind slowly carries you further into the quiet night. The water is a smooth, dark ribbon, effortlessly moving through the sleeping landscape. You watch it flow, feeling your own thoughts becoming just as fluid, just as unhurried. The soft boundary between the dreamscape and the quiet reality of your room blurs. You are fully present in the comfort of your bed, feeling the weight of the blankets, yet your mind is free to wander through these vast, peaceful spaces. The giant's legacy is not just one of movement and power. It is also a legacy of sound, of voice, and of the profound silence that follows creation. You imagine yourself stepping slowly away from the riverbank, the soft grass yielding gently beneath your feet. The night air is cool and still, wrapping around you like a familiar, comforting garment. As you walk, the landscape softly transitions, dissolving into the warm, dimly lit hallway of a professional recording studio. This is a different kind of sanctuary. It is a space built entirely for the mastery and control of sound, which means it is also a space that understands the deep, intrinsic value of absolute silence. The walls of this hallway are covered in thick, charcoal-colored fabric. The floor is blanketed in a dense, plush carpet that absorbs every trace of your footsteps. You walk down the corridor, feeling a profound sense of isolation from the noisy, chaotic world outside. Here, the air is perfectly climate-controlled, slightly cool, and carries the faint, clean scent of warm electronics and polished wood. You reach a heavy, solid door at the end of the hall. It is a door designed to keep the world out, thick and padded. You reach out, grasp the smooth metal handle, and pull. The door opens with a soft, heavy resistance, the sound seals breaking with a gentle rush of air. You step inside the control room. The space is bathed in a low, soothing ambient light, a mixture of deep blues and soft purples that emanate from hidden LED strips along the floorboards. In the center of the room sits a massive, beautiful mixing console. It is a wide expanse of smooth metal, populated by hundreds of dials, sliders, and buttons, all resting peacefully in their default positions. Above the console, large, dark monitor screens are asleep, reflecting the faint blue light of the room. The room feels incredibly still. It is waiting. You walk over to the large, ergonomic leather chair positioned precisely in the center of the console. You sink into it, feeling the soft leather adjust to your shape. It is a chair designed for long, late-night hours of careful listening and creative focus. You rest your arms on the armrests and look at the sleeping machinery before you. You imagine the giant sitting in this exact chair. Beyond the basketball court, he sought out the rhythm of music, the deep, resonant cadence of spoken word and bass. His voice, naturally low and booming, found a home in these padded rooms. But tonight there is no music playing. The amplifiers are turned off. The speakers are silent. There is only the incredibly quiet, almost imperceptible hum of the power conditioners keeping the equipment safe. You lean back in the chair and let your eyes drift to the large, double-paned window looking into the vocal booth. The glass is thick, angled slightly downward to prevent reflections. Beyond the glass is a smaller room, completely lined with geometric acoustic foam. It looks like a soft, modern cave. You slowly stand up from the leather chair and walk around the console toward the heavy door of the vocal booth. You push it open and step inside. The silence in this small room is absolute. It is a heavy, physical silence that presses gently against your ears. Every sound you make is instantly absorbed by the thick foam walls. You speak a single, quiet word, and it simply vanishes into the room, leaving no echo, no reverberation. It is the purest quiet you have ever experienced. In the center of the booth stands a tall, heavy metal microphone stand. A high-quality microphone is suspended in a shock mount, protected by a delicate mesh pop filter. It hangs there in the quiet air, a sensitive instrument waiting to capture a voice. You stand near the microphone, feeling the immense calm of the isolation booth. This is a place where a giant could step away from the roaring crowds of tens of thousands of people and simply be alone with his own voice. It is a place of profound vulnerability and deep, creative peace. You take a slow, deep breath in, feeling the perfectly clean, still air fill your lungs. You let it out and the sound of your breath is immediately swallowed by the room. You close your eyes, letting the absolute silence wash over you. It clears your mind. It wipes away the mental clutter of the day. In this perfectly silent room, there is nothing to distract you, nothing to worry about. There is only the gentle, steady beating of your own heart. After a long, peaceful moment, you step back out of the vocal booth, pulling the heavy door shut behind you until you feel the airtight seal lock into place. You walk back across the control room, the thick carpet silencing your steps, and exit into the dimly lit hallway. The silence of the studio stays with you, a quiet hum of peace that settles deep into your chest. Your journey continues, seamlessly carrying you from the intimate quiet of the recording studio to a much larger, more expansive space. The environment around you gently expands, the ceiling rising high above, the walls moving far outward. You find yourself standing inside a massive, cavernous Hollywood soundstage in the middle of the night. The immense building is completely dark, save for a few soft, amber security lights spaced out along the distant walls. The air here is different. It smells of fresh pine wood, canvas, dry paint, and the faint, dusty scent of old props. It is the smell of imagination, temporarily at rest. You look up and see a dizzying network of steel catwalks and heavy black curtains suspended high in the shadows. Thick coils of electrical cables hang neatly from the grid, sleeping serpents waiting for the morning crew. This soundstage is a place where worlds are built from scratch, where a giant could step out of his own life and into another. He stood before massive cameras in spaces just like this, acting, playing, exploring new facets of his enormous personality. But tonight, the cameras are locked away in their velvet-lined cases. The bright, blinding set lights are turned off and cooled down. The director's chair sits empty. You begin to walk slowly across the soundstage floor. It is made of thick, smooth concrete, painted a matte black. Your footsteps make a soft, hollow sound that echoes gently in the vast, empty space. You walk past a series of large, wooden flats, temporary walls built for a movie set. In the dim amber light, they look like the ruins of a quiet, forgotten house. One flat is painted to look like a brick wall. Another is a beautiful, intricate Victorian doorway leading to nowhere. They stand silently, waiting for the illusion to begin again. You reach out and touch the painted surface of a temporary wall. It feels dry and textured. It is a reminder that so much of the world is just a constructed story, a temporary arrangement of wood and canvas. You realize that the giant understood this well. He knew how to build a persona, how to entertain, how to project a larger-than-life image, while always knowing that the real man, the quiet, thinking man, existed behind the scenes. You walk further into the dark soundstage, navigating through a small forest of light stands and C-stands. Their heavy metal bases sit solidly on the concrete floor. You find a large, padded moving blanket folded neatly on top of an apple box. You sit down on the soft blanket. The soundstage is so large that the ambient noise from the city outside is completely blocked out by the thick, soundproofed walls. The quiet here is not the tight, heavy silence of the vocal booth. It is an open, airy silence. It is the quiet of an empty cathedral. You lean back against a sturdy wooden beam and look out into the darkness of the enormous room. The amber lights cast long, strange shadows across the floor. You feel a sense of peaceful insignificance in the face of such a massive space. It is relaxing to know that you do not have to fill this room. You do not have to perform. You do not have to be a giant. You can simply sit here in the dark, resting on a soft blanket, and let the quietness of the space absorb your weariness. Your breathing falls into a slow, comfortable rhythm. Inhale the cool, dusty air of the soundstage. Exhale, releasing the tension in your shoulders and neck. Inhale, feeling the vast, empty space around you. Exhale, sinking a little deeper into the padded blanket. You sit there for a long time, watching the dust motes drift lazily through the single beam of an amber security light. They float effortlessly, dancing in the quiet air, completely unbound by gravity or urgency. Slowly, the environment begins to shift again. The tall walls of the soundstage gently dissolve, replaced by an even larger, more structured space. You are now standing in the center of a colossal, modern logistics warehouse. It is the quiet heart of the giant's business empire. It is late at night, and the facility is resting. The floor here is an endless expanse of highly polished, perfectly level concrete. It reflects the soft, sodium vapor lights hanging from the ceiling, creating long, glowing pathways of pale yellow light. You look down one of the main aisles. It stretches out so far that the distant end blurs into darkness. On either side of the aisle, towering steel racks reach toward the ceiling, 4 stories high. The racks are filled with hundreds of thousands of identical cardboard boxes, neatly stacked and wrapped in clear film. They are organized with perfect precision. This is the physical manifestation of commerce, the quiet resting place of products before they are sent out into the world. You think of the giant's many ventures, his partnerships, his quiet investments that bring affordable goods to everyday people. This warehouse is a monument to his steady, methodical mind. It is not glamorous, but it is incredibly powerful in its scale and order. You walk slowly down the center of the polished concrete aisle. The space is so vast that the temperature is perfectly even, cool and dry. The only sound is the low, rhythmic hum of a row of electric forklifts parked neatly in their charging bays at the far end of the building. The sound is a deep, continuous vibration that you can feel more than hear. It is the sound of energy being stored, quietly preparing for the work of the next day. You look up at the towering shelves. The sheer volume of neatly organized materials is profoundly calming. There is no chaos here. Everything has its place. Everything is accounted for. It is a perfect system, functioning quietly in the dark. You feel a sense of deep reassurance in this order. It reminds you that underneath the noisy surface of life, there are quiet systems working smoothly, keeping everything in balance. You stop walking and stand in the middle of the long aisle. You look up at the high ceiling, where small, square skylights allow the pale, silvery light of the moon to filter down into the warehouse. The moonlight mixes with the amber glow of the industrial lights, creating a soft, dreamlike atmosphere. You close your eyes and let the immense scale of the building wrap around you. You feel safe, hidden away in this quiet fortress of industry. The hum of the charging forklift seems to synchronize with your own breathing, a slow, steady drone, in and out. You feel the cool air on your face. You feel the solid, immovable concrete beneath your feet. The giant built his empire on this kind of solidity. Not just quick flashes of brilliance, but the steady, reliable foundation of good planning and quiet logistics. You absorb that feeling of stability. You let it anchor you to the peaceful present moment. As you stand there, absorbing the quiet order of the warehouse, the environment softly begins to fade. The towering shelves slowly blur and descend. The polished concrete gently transforms. You find yourself walking down a familiar, softly carpeted hallway. It is the tunnel beneath the great arena once again. You are returning to the beginning, but with a deeper sense of the man behind the legacy. You walk slowly, your hand gently brushing against the smooth, painted cinderblock wall of the tunnel. You approach a heavy set of double doors, painted a deep, rich blue. Above the doors, a simple backlit sign reads "Locker Room." The light from the sign is soft and welcoming. You push the doors open and they swing inward silently. You step into the sanctuary of the home team. The room is large, circular, and incredibly quiet. The floor is covered in a thick, custom-woven carpet featuring the bold logo of the team in the center. The lighting is low and warm, creating a cozy, intimate atmosphere. Around the perimeter of the room are 20 large, custom-built wooden stalls. They are made of dark, polished cherry wood, giving the room the feel of an exclusive, old-world library. This is the innermost sanctum. This is where the giant prepared for battle and where he rested when the battle was won. But tonight, it is simply a quiet, empty room. You walk slowly around the edge of the circular carpet, passing the empty stalls. You smell the lingering scent of clean cotton, athletic tape, and a faint hint of peppermint liniment. It is a comforting, familiar smell. You stop in front of the largest stall in the room. Above it, a polished brass nameplate bears his name. Inside the wooden cubby, a massive, pristine white jersey hangs perfectly still on a thick wooden hanger. The fabric is smooth and heavy. Below it, a pair of those enormous size 22 shoes sit neatly on a small carpeted shelf. They look like gentle, sleeping giants themselves. You reach out and lightly touch the fabric of the hanging jersey. It is cool and soft. You imagine the quiet moments the giant spent in this exact spot, sitting on the heavy wooden bench in front of the locker, head bowed, headphones on, blocking out the noise of the world, finding that deep internal center of calm before stepping out into the blinding lights of the arena. He knew how to find the quiet within himself, regardless of the chaos outside. You sit down on the wooden bench in front of the locker. The wood is thick and smooth, shaped by years of use. It feels incredibly solid. You lean back against the cool cherry wood of the stall and look across the empty room. The soft lighting casts a warm, golden glow over the deep blue carpet. The silence here is different from the studio or the soundstage. It is a communal silence. It is the quiet memory of a brotherhood, of a team that worked together, suffered together, and triumphed together, now all resting peacefully in their own homes. You sit in the quiet locker room for a long time. You let your muscles completely relax. You feel the tension draining out of your legs, out of your back, out of your arms. You let your head rest against the smooth wood behind you. You close your eyes. The image of the locker room remains clearly in your mind, a warm, safe haven. The gentle hum of the arena's ventilation system returns to your awareness, a soft, distant whisper that sounds like the wind blowing through a far-off forest. It is a lullaby of moving air. You focus entirely on that sound. You let it carry you away from the arena, away from the warehouse, away from the soundstage, and back to the quiet, dark space behind your closed eyelids. You become vividly aware of your own comfortable bed again. You feel the heavy softness of your pillows cradling your head. You feel the gentle weight of your blankets draped across your body, keeping you perfectly warm. You feel the absolute safety of your own room. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to do. The journey through the giant's quiet spaces has left you feeling grounded and secure. You have walked through environments built for power, for creativity, for commerce, and for victory, and in every single one, you found a deep, abiding peace. You found that even the largest lives are built on a foundation of quiet moments and restful stillness. You take a slow, deep breath in, letting the cool air fill your lungs completely. You hold it for a gentle moment, feeling the stillness within your own body. And then you let it out with a long, slow sigh. You feel your body sink a fraction of an inch deeper into the mattress. You are heavy, relaxed, and entirely at peace. In your mind's eye, you return to the image of the dark, velvet-lined corridor with the single candle burning on the nightstand. The corridor is so quiet, so perfectly still. You see the warm, golden light of the candle softly illuminating the thick white blankets of the bed. You imagine yourself lying in that bed, just as you are lying in your own bed now. The flame of the candle is small, steady, and perfectly calm. It does not flicker. It simply glows, a tiny beacon of warmth in the quiet night. You watch the light, letting its steady presence soothe your mind. You watch it until the edges of the flame begin to blur, softening into a gentle, golden haze. The deep, resonant voice of the giant seems to echo very softly in the back of your mind, not with words, but just with a low, comforting hum. It is a sound that vibrates gently in your chest, a sound of absolute safety and protection. It is the sound of a guardian watching over the night, ensuring that all is well. You let the hum wrap around you, blending with the soft sound of your own breathing. In and out, slow and steady. You feel a wave of warmth start at the top of your head, slowly moving down your face, relaxing your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. The warmth moves down your neck, releasing any lingering tightness in your shoulders. It flows down your arms, all the way to your fingertips, leaving them heavy and still. The gentle wave of relaxation continues down your chest, your stomach, your back. It moves into your legs, down through your knees, your calves, and finally into your feet. Your entire body is enveloped in a heavy, comfortable warmth. You feel as though you are floating on a calm, dark sea, gently rocked by the slow, rhythmic motion of the water. There are no more rooms to explore tonight. The great arena is dark. The studio is silent. The warehouse is resting. The giant himself is fast asleep, wrapped in the quiet peace of his own home. The world has shut down its busy machinery. The day is over and it has been put away. You let your thoughts drift away like tiny boats on the dark river. You don't try to catch them. You just watch them float softly into the distance, disappearing into the gentle shadows. Your mind is becoming empty, clean, and beautifully quiet. The golden haze of the candle light fades slowly, leaving you in a perfect, comforting darkness. It is a darkness that feels like a thick, soft blanket. It is the darkness of a deep, undisturbed forest in the middle of the night. You are completely safe within it. The darkness around you is not empty. It is a rich, velvety space filled with the quiet echoes of a day perfectly concluded. You are drifting, weightless, supported entirely by the soft, yielding layers of your bed. The journey through the giant's world has slowed the rhythm of your own heart to a steady, peaceful cadence. As you rest in this comfortable void, the gentle river of your thoughts carries you effortlessly toward another quiet corner of his vast, remarkable life. The transition is as smooth as a sigh, a gentle dissolving of the dark forest into a new, softly lit environment. You find yourself standing in the back of a large, empty television broadcasting studio. It is long past midnight. The energetic debates, the booming laughter, and the bright, flashing graphics of the evening sports broadcast have all faded away, leaving behind a profound and restful silence. The heavy, soundproof doors of the studio are securely closed, sealing this space away from the busy world outside. The air in the room is cool, crisp, and perfectly still, carrying the faint, clean scent of polished linoleum, warm electronics, and the crisp ozone of resting lights. You walk slowly across the smooth, gray floor. Your footsteps are barely a whisper in the large room. Above you, a massive grid of complex lighting equipment hangs suspended in the shadows. The bright, glaring bulbs are turned off, their heat having long since dissipated into the cool air. Only a few small, green indicator lights blink sleepily from the darkness above, looking like distant, quiet stars in a mechanical sky. The cables are bundled neatly. The cameras are draped in heavy, protective black canvas covers. Everything is put away. Everything is exactly where it belongs. In the center of the room sits the iconic, curved broadcast desk. It is a large, sweeping structure of polished wood and frosted glass, designed to accommodate giants of the game. You walk toward it, feeling the quiet authority of the space. This is where the giant sits, sharing his knowledge, his humor, and his presence with millions of people. But right now, the desk is completely empty. The monitors embedded in its surface are dark and cool to the touch. The comfortable, heavy-duty swivel chairs are tucked neatly beneath the curve of the wood. You reach out and run your hand along the smooth, cool edge of the desk. The surface is flawless. You pull out the largest of the chairs and gently sit down. The leather is thick and forgiving, instantly molding to your shape. You lean back and look out at the dark studio. From this vantage point, you can imagine the quiet moments before the cameras roll. The deep, centering breaths taken before the bright lights flood the room. The quiet focus required to transition from a private individual into a public voice. You sit there in the dark, feeling the lingering warmth of the camaraderie that fills this room during the broadcast. It is a good, comforting energy, but it is at rest now. The giant knows how to command attention, how to fill a room with his voice and his laughter, but he also knows the deep value of the silence that follows. The contrast between the roaring energy of the show and the absolute stillness of the empty studio is beautiful. It is the natural balance of effort and rest, of speaking and listening. You let your eyes slowly scan the dark perimeter of the room. The thick acoustic panels on the walls absorb every stray sound, creating a feeling of comfortable isolation. You take a slow, deep breath in, letting the cool, clean air of the studio fill your lungs. You hold it for a moment, enjoying the absolute stillness, and then let it out with a long, soft exhalation. You feel your shoulders drop. You feel the muscles in your back release their tension, sinking deeper into the soft leather of the chair. You are perfectly safe, perfectly hidden in this quiet room of resting technology. Slowly, the environment begins to soften. The sharp outlines of the cameras and the sweeping curve of the desk gently blur, losing their form as your mind drifts toward a softer, more organic setting. The cool, crisp air of the studio gives way to a gentle, humid warmth. The scent of electronics is replaced by the rich, earthy fragrance of damp soil, sweet jasmine, and still water. You find yourself standing on a wide, wooden dock extending out over a vast, peaceful lake in central Florida. It is the hour just before dawn. The world is painted in soft shades of deep blue, silver, and charcoal. A thick, gentle mist rests on the surface of the water, curling slowly in the barely perceptible morning breeze. The mist softens the edges of the distant shoreline, turning the tall cypress trees into dark, quiet silhouettes against the lightening sky. The air is heavy and warm, wrapping around you like a soft, damp blanket. It is a deeply comforting atmosphere, rich with the quiet life of the natural world. You walk slowly to the end of the wooden dock. The thick planks are cool and slightly damp with morning dew beneath your bare feet. You can feel the sturdy grain of the wood, weathered by the sun and the rain. With every step you take, a soft, hollow thud echoes gently over the still water, a rhythmic sound that grounds you to the earth. You reach the end of the dock and sit down on the smooth wooden bench built into the railing. You look out over the silver expanse of the lake. There is no movement on the water, save for the slow, hypnotic swirl of the morning mist. The giant lived in this environment during the early, defining years of his career. Amidst the pressure of sudden fame and the physical demands of the sport, he had this quiet sanctuary, a place where the only sounds were the gentle lapping of water against the wooden pilings and the distant, lonely call of a waking heron. You imagine him standing on this very dock in the quiet hours of the morning, long before the rest of the world had opened its eyes. A towering figure wrapped in the soft mist, looking out at the still water. In this vast, natural landscape, even a giant can feel a sense of peaceful proportion. The lake does not ask anything of him. The trees do not expect a performance. The misty morning simply offers a space to breathe, to be still, to exist without effort. You take a deep breath of the humid air, letting the scent of the water and the earth fill you. It is a grounding, ancient smell. You listen to the soft, rhythmic sound of small ripples gently tapping against the wooden legs of the dock. Tap, tap, tap. It is a soothing, natural metronome, matching the slow, steady beating of your own resting heart. You close your eyes and let the sound wash over you, feeling the tension in your jaw and your neck melt away into the warm Florida air. As you sit on the bench, the sky begins to lighten imperceptibly. The deep blue fades into a soft, bruised purple, and then into a delicate, pale gray. The light does not arrive suddenly. It seeps into the world slowly and gently, revealing the quiet beauty of the sleeping landscape. You feel the first, faint warmth of the unseen sun against your skin, a delicate touch that promises a peaceful day. But for now, the world is still resting in the twilight, and you are resting with it. You lean your head back against the wooden railing, feeling completely supported. The heavy, warm air presses gently against your body, holding you in place. You are a part of this quiet morning, a silent observer in a world of absolute calm. The giant's legacy is woven into this stillness just as much as it is woven into the roar of the arena. It is the foundation of peace that allowed him to build a life of such immense scale. The lake gently fades away, the silver mist dissolving into a new, beautifully organized space. You are gently transported from the organic warmth of the Florida morning into the pristine, polished environment of a massive, custom-built garage. It is deep in the night once again. The garage is vast, easily the size of an airplane hangar, but it feels incredibly intimate and secure. The floor is made of perfectly smooth, highly reflective white epoxy, shining like a mirror beneath the soft, indirect overhead lighting. The air in the garage is climate-controlled, cool and dry. It smells wonderfully of fine leather conditioner, carnauba wax, and the faint, clean scent of high-grade rubber. This is a sanctuary of design and engineering, a quiet resting place for machines built to accommodate a man of extraordinary size. Parked in perfectly aligned rows are dozens of magnificent, custom-modified vehicles. They sit silently on the shining floor, their metallic paint gleaming softly in the dim light. You walk slowly down the wide aisle between the rows of cars. Your footsteps make no sound on the smooth epoxy floor. You pass a massive, elongated luxury sedan, its dark paint looking as deep as the night sky. You pass a rugged, heavy-duty truck, its enormous tires resting firmly on the ground, projecting an aura of immovable strength. You pass a low, wide sports car, its roof removed and its seats pushed far back to create space for a giant. None of the engines are running. There is no roar of exhaust, no screech of tires. There is only the beautiful, silent potential of these incredible machines. You reach out and gently brush your fingertips along the smooth, sweeping fender of a classic, deep-red convertible. The metal is cool and flawlessly polished. The curve of the fender is a masterpiece of design, a quiet testament to the careful, deliberate work of master craftsmen. You walk toward the back of the garage, where a large, impeccably organized tool area is set up. The cabinets are made of brushed steel, reflecting the soft light. The tools are arranged in soft, foam-lined drawers, every wrench and socket resting exactly in its designated place. It is an environment of total order and predictability. In a life filled with travel, chaos, and the unpredictable nature of competition, this garage represents absolute control and perfect harmony. You find a tall, comfortable leather stool near a polished workbench and sit down. You look out over the silent fleet of vehicles. The giant spent quiet evenings here, walking among these cars, admiring the engineering, appreciating the lines and the craftsmanship. It was a private retreat, a place to clear his mind and focus on the simple, tangible reality of metal and leather. You sit on the stool, letting the quiet order of the garage soothe your mind. The soft lighting casts long, elegant shadows across the pristine floor. You breathe in the clean, pleasant scent of the wax and the leather. It is a rich, comforting aroma. You feel a deep sense of satisfaction, the feeling of looking at a collection of beautiful things that are perfectly cared for and safely put away for the night. Your breathing is slow and even. You feel the smooth leather of the stool beneath you providing a stable, comfortable base. You let your eyes slowly close, holding the image of the gleaming, silent cars in your mind. They represent journeys taken and journeys yet to come, but right now, they are simply resting just as you are. The stillness of the garage is absolute, a thick, protective silence that insulates you from any thought of movement or effort. The smooth, white floor of the garage begins to soften in your mind's eye, transforming into a thick, incredibly plush carpet. The bright, metallic surfaces of the cars slowly fade, replaced by soft, dark, sound-absorbing fabrics. You are drifting into a new room. a deeply private space hidden within the heart of a massive home. You are entering the giant's personal home theater. The room is completely dark, save for the very faint, warm glow of a few small floor-level lights illuminating the walkway. The walls are covered in thick, dark blue velvet, designed to trap sound and create a feeling of total sensory isolation. The air is perfectly still, cool, and smells faintly of clean fabric and warm, resting electronics. It is a room built entirely for comfort, for escape, and for the quiet enjoyment of stories. You walk slowly down the subtly inclined floor. The carpet is so thick that it feels like walking on a dense layer of soft moss. You can barely feel the floor beneath it. You reach the center of the room, where a row of massive, custom-built reclining chairs faces a colossal, darkened screen. The chairs are upholstered in incredibly soft, buttery black leather. They are designed to hold a giant, which means they offer you an ocean of space and comfort. You choose the center chair and slowly climb into it. You press a small, silent button on the armrest, and the chair smoothly and quietly reclines, lifting your legs and supporting your back in a perfect zero-gravity position. The leather envelops you, soft and warm. It feels as though the chair was designed specifically to hold you, to protect you, and to ease away every ounce of fatigue in your body. You look forward at the massive screen. It is currently a blank, dark canvas waiting patiently. Tonight, no films will be played. The powerful surround sound speakers hidden behind the velvet walls will remain silent. The room is serving its most fundamental purpose. It is providing a space of absolute, undisturbed peace. You are insulated from the world. There are no windows to let in the light, no thin walls to let in the noise. There is only the perfect, velvet-lined darkness. You imagine the giant reclining in this very chair after a grueling road trip or a long week of business meetings. He would sit here in the quiet, surrounded by the soft leather, letting the sheer weight of his responsibilities slip away. The theater room is a cocoon, a safe space where he can be entirely alone with his thoughts, or where he can choose to have no thoughts at all. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the cool air of the room enter your nose and travel down into your lungs. You let it out with a soft sigh, feeling your chest fall gently. Your arms are resting heavily on the wide, padded armrests. Your legs feel weightless, supported by the raised footrest. Your head sinks deeply into the soft, yielding leather of the headrest. You are entirely comfortable. You close your eyes, letting the darkness of the room merge with the darkness behind your eyelids. The faint, warm glow of the floor lights fades away from your awareness. You listen closely to the silence of the room. It is so deep that you can hear the very faint, rhythmic sound of your own pulse, a slow, steady drumbeat that lulls you deeper into relaxation. The memories of the day, the memories of the broadcast studio, the Florida lake, and the custom garage all begin to unravel, turning into soft, formless wisps of thought. They drift away like the morning mist over the water, leaving your mind clear, empty, and beautifully still. You have walked alongside the legacy of a giant, but you are not burdened by his size or his responsibilities. You have only taken the peace, the quiet, and the stability of his world. You feel a gentle wave of heaviness wash over your body. It starts at the crown of your head, a soft, warm pressure that slowly moves downward. It smooths away the tiny lines of tension around your eyes. It relaxes the muscles in your cheeks and your jaw. It flows down your neck, releasing the tight cords of effort that have held your head high all day. The heaviness moves into your shoulders, pressing them gently down into the soft leather of the chair. The warm wave travels slowly down your arms, past your elbows, through your wrists and into your hands. Your fingers curl slightly, completely relaxed, completely still. You feel the heavy, comforting warmth spread across your chest and down into your stomach. Every breath you take is deeper, slower, and more effortless than the last. You are breathing in peace and breathing out the last remnants of the day. The relaxation flows down into your hips, your thighs, your knees. It moves through your calves and down into your ankles. Finally, it reaches your feet, leaving your toes feeling warm, heavy, and entirely at rest. Your whole body is now wrapped in a cocoon of comfort, anchored to the soft leather, yet feeling as light as a feather floating in the still air. You are resting in the heart of the giant's world, a world that is large, strong, and deeply peaceful. You know that outside these velvet walls, the world continues to turn, but it does not matter. The night is yours. The quiet is yours. The safety is absolute. Your mind begins to drift toward the edges of sleep, that soft, gentle boundary where thoughts become dreams. You see vague, beautiful shapes moving slowly in the dark. You see a massive, ancient oak tree standing alone in a quiet field, its deep roots anchoring it firmly to the earth, its wide branches offering shelter and shade. It stands perfectly still in the moonlight, a symbol of enduring strength and quiet patience. You see a single, large river stone resting at the bottom of a clear, shallow stream. The water flows over it endlessly, polishing it, smoothing its edges but never moving it. The stone is heavy, settled, and completely at peace with its place in the world. You watch the water flow over the stone, mesmerized by the continuous, gentle motion. The image of the oak tree and the river stone blur together, becoming a feeling rather than a picture. It is the feeling of being rooted, of being secure, of being unshakable in the face of the changing world. It is the feeling of the giant's legacy, distilled down to its most fundamental essence, a profound and lasting peace. You let yourself sink completely into that feeling. You let go of the need to stay awake, the need to listen, the need to understand. You surrender to the heavy, comforting pull of sleep. The darkness around you is a soft, welcoming blanket. The silence is a gentle lullaby. You are safe. You are warm. You are perfectly comfortable. The slow, steady rhythm of your breathing is the only movement in the quiet room. In and out, slow and calm, deep and restful. You are floating on a calm, dark sea carried gently by the tide of the night. There is nothing to do. There is nowhere to be. There is only rest. The world of the giant fades entirely from your mind, leaving only the pure, unadulterated sensation of deep relaxation. The soft leather, the thick velvet, the quiet air, they all become a part of your own comfortable bed. You are home. You are safe. You are ready to let go completely and drift away into a long, peaceful, and restorative sleep. The night stretches out before you, an endless expanse of quiet time. You will sleep deeply, supported by the strong foundation you have built within your own mind. You will rest, and tomorrow you will wake feeling refreshed, grounded, and steady. But for now, there is only the gentle, beautiful darkness. There is only the peace of the sleeping world. Your thoughts become slower, quieter, until they finally stop altogether. You are suspended in a state of perfect stillness. You feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, a slow, hypnotic movement that rocks you gently to sleep. You breathe in the quiet night. You breathe out the lingering day. You are fully relaxed. You are entirely at peace. The deep, rhythmic waves of relaxation continue to wash over you, a gentle tide that slowly recedes and leaves behind a profound, unshakable stillness. Your mind has become a quiet, empty vessel, perfectly content to drift through the peaceful spaces of the night. The heavy velvet walls of the theater room soften and blur, dissolving into the warm, comforting darkness behind your closed eyes. You are untethered, floating freely on the current of your own slow, steady breathing. As you exhale, releasing the very last, microscopic traces of tension from your muscles, the environment around you gently reforms. You are not walking, you are simply arriving, effortlessly transitioning into another quiet cornerstone of the giant's world. You find yourself standing in the doorway of a truly magnificent kitchen. It is the heart of a massive home, a place built not just for the preparation of food, but for the gathering of family, the sharing of warmth, and the quiet nourishment of a giant. The room is vast, yet it feels incredibly intimate and secure in the deep hours of the night. The main overhead lights are off, leaving the space illuminated only by a few soft, warm amber under-cabinet lights and the faint, pale glow of the moonlight filtering through a row of tall, arched windows. The air here is perfectly still, carrying the faint, clean scent of citrus, polished stone, and the lingering, comforting aroma of baked bread and warm vanilla. You step fully into the room. The floor beneath your feet is made of massive slabs of slate, dark and cool. The natural texture of the stone is a grounding sensation, a reminder of the solid earth beneath the towering structure of the home. You walk slowly across the slate, your footsteps making no sound in the quiet space. In the center of the kitchen sits an enormous island, topped with a single, flawless slab of white marble. The marble glows softly in the dim light, its delicate gray veins looking like quiet rivers frozen in stone. You reach out and rest your hand flat against the surface. It is cool, smooth, and incredibly solid. You trace the edge of the marble with your fingertips, feeling the perfect, rounded bevel. This is a surface that has seen countless quiet mornings and peaceful late-night snacks. You imagine the giant standing here, long after the house has gone to sleep, pouring a glass of cold water in the dim light. The simple, necessary acts of daily life take on a quiet dignity in this beautiful space. There is no rush here. There are no schedules to meet. There is only the quiet hum of a massive, commercial-grade refrigerator standing against the far wall. The hum is a low, steady vibration, a reassuring sound that speaks of abundance and care. It is the sound of a home that is well provided for, a safe harbor in a busy world. You walk past the marble island and approach a long, custom-built wooden dining table that sits in a softly lit alcove off the main kitchen. The table is a masterpiece of craftsmanship, carved from a single, massive piece of reclaimed oak. The wood is dark, rich, and heavily textured, smoothed only by time and use. Surrounded by heavy, high-backed chairs, the table is empty tonight. It rests in the shadows, waiting patiently for the morning. You pull out one of the heavy chairs. It moves with a quiet, smooth resistance on the slate floor. You sit down at the head of the table, resting your arms on the cool, textured wood. You sit there for a long time, looking out through the arched windows into the dark night. The world outside is asleep. The trees are still. The sky is a deep, endless indigo. You feel the profound quiet of the house wrapping around you. This is the peace that a giant builds for his family. It is a fortress of calm, a place where the noise of the arenas and the demands of the business empire cannot reach. You take a slow, deep breath, letting the scent of the oak and the faint hint of vanilla fill your senses. You exhale slowly, feeling your chest fall, feeling your heart beat with a slow, steady, relaxed rhythm. The quiet of the kitchen is absolute. It is a thick, nourishing silence. You let your head dip slightly forward, resting your chin on your chest. You feel the gentle stretch in the back of your neck, a pleasant release of old tension. You close your eyes, letting the darkness of the room merge with your own internal quiet. You are perfectly safe here. You are a welcomed guest in the sanctuary of a man who understands the value of peace. You let the feeling of abundance and security settle deep into your bones. You are completely comfortable. Slowly, you open your eyes and stand up from the heavy oak table. You push the chair back into place, taking care not to disturb the silence. You walk toward a set of massive, floor-to-ceiling glass doors that lead out onto a private courtyard. The glass is cool and perfectly clear. You reach out and grasp the heavy brass handle. It turns smoothly, silently, and you slide the door open just wide enough to step outside. The transition from the cool, air-conditioned kitchen to the warm, humid air of the courtyard is an immediate full-body comfort. The Florida night wraps around you like a soft, heavy blanket. The air smells of wet earth, blooming night jasmine, and the fresh, clean scent of resting water. You step out onto a pathway made of large, smooth river stones. The stones are warm, having absorbed the heat of the sun throughout the day, and they gently radiate that warmth up through the soles of your feet. The courtyard is a masterpiece of quiet landscape design. It is enclosed by high, vine-covered walls that block out any distant light or sound from the city. In the center of the space is a large, irregularly shaped koi pond. The surface of the water is dark and smooth, reflecting the silver light of a nearly full moon. You walk slowly along the stone pathway toward the edge of the pond. Tall, graceful ferns and broad-leafed hostas grow thickly along the banks, their leaves drooping heavily in the still, humid air. You reach the edge of the pond and sit down on a large, flat boulder that rests half in the water and half on the shore. The stone is incredibly smooth and holds the perfect, gentle warmth of the evening. You look down into the dark water. At first, you see only the reflection of the moon, a bright, shimmering circle that floats gently on the surface. But as your eyes adjust to the shadows, you begin to see movement deep below. Massive koi fish, some as long as your arm, are swimming slowly and gracefully through the dark water. Their scales are brilliant splashes of orange, gold, and pure white, catching the moonlight as they glide near the surface. They move with incredible fluid grace, their long fins trailing behind them like delicate silk ribbons in a gentle breeze. They do not hurry. They simply circle the pond in a slow, hypnotic dance. You watch a large, golden koi rise slowly toward the surface. Its mouth breaches the water with a tiny, delicate popping sound, sending a perfect, concentric ring of ripples outward across the pond. The ripples distort the reflection of the moon for a moment, turning it into a shimmering, dancing light, before the water slowly settles back into absolute stillness. The fish turns and glides back down into the comforting darkness of the depths. You find your breathing naturally slowing down to match the lazy, effortless movement of the fish. You take a long, slow breath in, filling your lungs with the sweet scent of the jasmine. You let it out with a soft sigh, watching another koi slide silently past the edge of your boulder. The quiet rhythm of the pond is deeply soothing. It is an ancient, natural peace. The giant built this courtyard as a place of meditation, a place to sit quietly and observe the slow, steady flow of life that exists entirely apart from human endeavor. You sit on the warm boulder for a long time. You listen to the incredibly faint, rhythmic trickling of a small waterfall hidden among the ferns at the far end of the pond. The sound is a delicate, continuous murmur. It sounds like a secret being whispered to the night. It is the sound of water endlessly recycling, a constant, reassuring presence. You let the sound wash over your mind, smoothing away any stray thoughts, leaving your consciousness as clear and still as the surface of the pond. Your eyelids begin to feel heavy again. The warm Florida air is a gentle weight, pressing softly against your shoulders, your arms, your back. You let your head rest back, looking up at the sky. The stars are partially obscured by the high courtyard walls and the thick canopy of a large, ancient banyan tree that reaches out over the water, but the few stars you can see are bright and steady. You feel a profound connection to the quiet earth, to the slow-moving water, and to the deep, restful night. The image of the koi pond begins to slowly recede, folding gently into the shadows of your mind. The warmth of the boulder fades, replaced by the soft, familiar comfort of your own mattress. You are drifting again, carried on the gentle current of sleep. The transition is seamless. You are leaving the humid courtyard and entering a new, distinctly different space, yet the feeling of absolute peace remains constant. The air around you becomes cooler, crisper, and perfectly dry. The scent of jasmine is replaced by the rich, complex aroma of old paper, leather bindings, and polished mahogany. You find yourself standing in the center of the giant's private library. It is a room of immense proportions, featuring ceilings that stretch 2 stories high, yet it feels entirely enclosed and protective. The walls are lined from floor to ceiling with dark, custom-built wooden bookshelves. The wood is a deep, warm brown, polished to a soft satin finish that reflects the dim ambient light. A beautifully crafted spiral staircase made of wrought iron and oak leads up to a narrow balcony that circles the upper perimeter of the room, providing access to the highest shelves. The room is softly illuminated by a few classic brass reading lamps with dark green glass shades, positioned carefully on small side tables. You walk slowly across the floor, which is covered in a thick, intricately patterned Persian rug. The deep reds, blues, and golds of the woven wool are muted in the soft light. The rug completely absorbs the sound of your footsteps, maintaining the reverent silence of the room. You approach one of the towering bookshelves and look at the volumes arranged neatly along the polished wood. There are thousands of books here. Heavy encyclopedias, leather-bound biographies, texts on philosophy, business, history, and art. It is a visual representation of a mind constantly seeking knowledge, a giant who understands that true power lies in understanding the world. You gently run your finger along the spines of a row of old, cloth-bound books. The fabric is slightly rough, textured with age and wisdom. The silence in the library is different from the silence of the empty arena or the quiet courtyard. It is a dense, intellectual silence. It is the quiet of thousands of voices, thousands of stories, all resting peacefully between their covers, waiting to be heard. You walk toward the center of the room, where a massive, overstuffed leather armchair sits beside a small, round table. The leather of the chair is a rich, dark burgundy, worn soft and smooth by years of comfortable use. It is a chair designed to hold a large frame for hours of quiet reading. You turn and slowly sink into the chair. It embraces you immediately, the soft leather rising up to support your arms and your back perfectly. You lean your head back against the headrest and look up at the high ceiling. In the center of the ceiling, a beautiful, intricately painted dome depicts a quiet, starry night sky. The colors are deep and soothing. You let your eyes wander across the painted stars, feeling the immense calm of the library settling over you. There is no urgency here. The books have waited for years. They will continue to wait. Tonight is simply for resting among them. You take a deep breath, inhaling the dry, comforting scent of the paper and the wood. It is a smell that brings back memories of quiet afternoons in grand spaces, of focused thought and peaceful solitude. You exhale slowly, feeling your body become heavier, sinking deeper into the burgundy leather. Your hands rest loosely on the armrests. Your feet are planted firmly on the soft Persian rug. You are anchored in this quiet space, surrounded by the accumulated knowledge of the world, feeling completely safe and secure. You imagine the giant sitting in this chair late at night, the only light coming from the green glass lamp beside him. He holds a heavy book in his large hands, turning the pages slowly and deliberately. The quiet rustle of the paper is the only sound in the vast room. He reads not just for entertainment, but to build the foundation of his empire, to understand the complexities of life beyond the basketball court. He finds solace in the quiet logic of the printed word, a welcome contrast to the unpredictable chaos of the physical world. You close your eyes, letting the image of the reading giant gently fade. The dense, comfortable silence of the library is all that remains. You listen to that silence, finding that it has a texture all its own. It is thick and soft like the velvet walls of the theater room, but with the added weight of history and thought. You let your mind go completely blank, surrendering to the profound quiet. There is nothing to read right now. There is nothing to learn. There is only the deep, restorative work of sleep. The soft, warm darkness of the library wraps around you. You feel your breathing slow even further, a gentle, rhythmic tide that ebbs and flows with effortless grace. Inhale the cool, dry air of the sanctuary. Exhale, releasing the last, lingering echoes of the day. Inhale, feeling the heavy, comfortable support of the leather chair. Exhale, letting go completely, drifting further and further away from the waking world. As you rest in the deep quiet, the library slowly begins to shift and change. The towering bookshelves dissolve into the shadows. The thick Persian rug fades away. You are moving again, a gentle, floating transition into another massive private space. The air becomes slightly cooler, and the scent of old paper is replaced by the incredibly distinct, deeply nostalgic smell of gym wax, varnished wood, and fresh leather. You find yourself standing on the edge of a private, indoor basketball court. This is not the massive, public arena where we began our journey. This is an intimate personal sanctuary built directly into the Giants' home. The walls are paneled in beautiful, light-colored maple wood, matching the perfectly polished floor that stretches out before you. The ceiling is high, supported by thick, exposed wooden beams. The lighting is soft and even, casting no harsh shadows across the court. The space feels incredibly pure. There are no thousands of empty seats looking down at you. There are no massive scoreboards or bright advertising signs. There are only two glass backboards, two orange rims, and the immaculate, gleaming expanse of the hardwood floor. It is a space dedicated entirely to the love of the game, a place where the giant could return to his roots, alone and unobserved. You step out onto the court. Your bare feet make no sound on the polished wood. You can feel the slight, comforting give of the floorboards beneath your weight. It is an environment designed for movement, but tonight it is perfectly still. You walk slowly toward the center circle, tracing the painted lines with your eyes. The paint is thick and slightly raised, a tactile map of the game he mastered. You reach the center of the court and stop. You look toward one of the baskets. Resting perfectly in the center of the painted key, just under the net, is a single, official leather basketball. It sits completely motionless on the gleaming wood. You walk slowly toward it, the smell of the leather growing stronger as you approach. You stop and look down at the ball. The pebbled texture of the leather is deeply familiar, a symbol of effort, of focus, and of triumph. But right now, it is just a quiet, resting object. You slowly crouch down and place your hand on top of the ball. The leather is cool to the touch. It feels heavy and solid, anchored to the floor. You press your palm against the rough texture, feeling a sense of deep connection to the history it represents. You imagine the giant standing here in the middle of the night, unable to sleep. He wouldn't turn on all the lights. He would just stand in the dim, even glow, holding the ball in his massive hands. He wouldn't even shoot. He would just feel the weight of it, the familiar texture, the comforting spherical shape. It was his touchstone, the physical object that had defined so much of his life. In the quiet of his private court, the ball wasn't a tool for competition. It was a companion in the stillness. You slowly stand back up, leaving the ball resting peacefully on the floor. You walk over to the sideline, where a long, low wooden bench sits against the maple-paneled wall. You sit down on the bench. The wood is smooth and cool. You lean your back against the wall and look out across the empty court. The lines on the floor form a beautiful, symmetrical geometry, a pattern of order and rules that brings comfort to the mind. You sit there and simply breathe. The silence of the private court is different from the other silences you have experienced tonight. It is a waiting silence. It is an environment of suspended energy. You can almost feel the phantom echoes of thousands of hours of practice, the squeak of rubber shoes, the heavy, rhythmic thud of the bouncing ball, the sharp swish of the net. but those sounds belong to the past. Tonight, the court is asleep. You let the stillness of the room enter your body. You feel the heavy, relaxed weight of your legs. You feel your arms resting comfortably at your sides. You feel your chest rising and falling with slow, perfectly measured breaths. You are absorbing the peace of the sanctuary. You are taking the quiet discipline of the giant and using it to calm your own mind. The soft lighting of the court begins to dim, the amber glow fading slowly into a gentle, comforting twilight. The gleaming hardwood floor loses its shine, becoming a soft, matte surface. The painted lines blur and fade away. The environment is dissolving once more, carrying you gently back to the deepest, most secure space of all, your own bed. The transition is a slow, downward drift. You feel yourself sinking through the layers of the night, moving away from the giant's world and returning fully to your own. You feel the thick, heavy blankets covering your body. You feel the soft, supportive pillows cradling your head. The cool, clean air of your own room fills your lungs. You are completely relaxed. Every muscle in your body has let go of its tension. Your mind is a quiet, vast expanse of peace. The journey through the giant's quiet spaces has served its purpose. It has shown you that even the largest, most powerful lives require moments of absolute stillness. It has shown you that peace is not just the absence of noise, but a deep, foundational strength. You lie in the dark, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breathing. It is the only movement in the world, in and out, slow and calm. The darkness behind your eyelids is a rich, warm velvet, just like the walls of the theater room. It protects you from the outside world. It holds you safely in the present moment. You let your thoughts drift away entirely. You don't try to hold on to any images or memories. You simply exist in the quiet void of the night. You are floating on a calm, dark sea, perfectly weightless, perfectly secure. The giant is resting. The empire is quiet. The arenas are empty. The world has stopped its busy turning just for you, just for tonight. You feel a profound sense of gratitude for this quiet time. You are thankful for the softness of your bed, for the warmth of your blankets, for the safety of your room. You allow that feeling of gratitude to settle deep into your chest, a warm, glowing ember that radiates peace throughout your body. Your breathing becomes even slower, even shallower. You are barely disturbing the air in the room. You are slipping down into the deepest, most restorative stages of sleep. The boundaries between your body and the bed disappear entirely. You are one with the quiet night. You imagine a single, soft, white cloud floating in a dark blue, starry sky. The cloud is moving incredibly slowly, pushed by a high, gentle wind. You watch the cloud drift, feeling your own consciousness drifting along with it. The cloud has no destination. It has no purpose other than to exist in the quiet sky. You are just like the soft, white cloud continues its slow, effortless journey across the dark expanse of your mind. You watch it drift, feeling a profound sense of kinship with its aimless, peaceful wandering. It is completely untethered, completely free from the weight of the world beneath it. As you observe its gentle progress, The deep blue of the starry sky begins to soften, the color shifting and swirling until the sky itself becomes a thick, comforting blanket of twilight mist. The mist rolls down, gently enveloping the cloud and slowly lowering you back toward the quiet earth. You do not feel like you are falling. Rather, you feel like you are settling, like a leaf drifting lazily down to rest on a soft bed of moss. The mist thins, parting like a pair of delicate, sheer curtains, revealing a new environment. You find yourself standing at the edge of a small, perfectly quiet neighborhood park. It is the deep, silent hour of the night when the entire city is fast asleep. The streetlights cast warm, amber pools of light onto the empty sidewalks, illuminating the gentle, swaying branches of the old elm trees that line the street. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint, sweet scent of freshly cut grass and damp earth. You walk slowly along the edge of the park. The grass beneath your feet is soft and heavy with evening dew. It yields gently to your steps, a quiet, natural carpet that absorbs all sound. You feel the cool moisture brushing against your shoes, a refreshing and grounding sensation. You are completely alone in the park, but you do not feel lonely. The space is filled with a warm, welcoming energy. It is a place built for joy, now resting quietly in the moonlight. In the center of the park, surrounded by a low, freshly painted chain-link fence, is a brand new outdoor basketball court. You walk toward it, the dew-soaked grass eventually giving way to the smooth, clean surface of the court. This is not the grand, polished maple of the professional arena, nor the private, paneled sanctuary of the Giants' home. This is a community court, built out of asphalt and coated in thick, vibrant layers of weather-resistant paint. The colors of the court, deep blues, bright reds, and clean, sharp whites, are muted by the shadows of the night, turning into soft, pastel versions of themselves. You step through the open gate and onto the painted surface. The asphalt is slightly textured, providing a firm, secure grip beneath your feet. It still holds a faint trace of the sun's warmth from the day, a subtle, comforting heat that radiates gently upward in the cool night air. You walk toward the center of the court. This space is a gift, a quiet piece of the Giants' legacy that exists far away from the cameras and the business deals. It is a place where he has chosen to plant seeds of opportunity for others. You look up at the heavy-duty steel backboards and the thick, orange rims. They are built to last, built to withstand the elements and the endless, joyful energy of the neighborhood. But right now, they are perfectly still. The heavy chain nets hang motionless, waiting patiently for the morning. You stand in the center circle and look around the empty park. You can see the dark silhouettes of the playground equipment nearby. The swings hang quietly from their chains, swaying just a fraction of an inch in an almost imperceptible breeze. The slide is a smooth, dark curve in the moonlight. Everything is waiting. Everything is prepared. The quiet anticipation of the park is deeply soothing. It is the peace of knowing that good things are going to happen here, that laughter and play will fill this space when the sun rises. But for now, the park is simply resting, gathering its strength for the day to come. You feel a sense of profound calm in knowing that the giant's empire is not just about accumulation, but about provision. His strength is used to build foundations for others. You absorb that feeling of generous, quiet strength. You take a slow, deep breath of the cool, grassy air. You let it out with a soft, steady exhalation. You feel your shoulders relax completely, dropping down away from your ears. You feel the muscles in your back loosen and lengthen. You are standing on solid ground, supported by the quiet, giving nature of the space. You walk slowly across the court, your footsteps making a soft, rhythmic scuffing sound against the textured paint. You reach the far side of the fence and step back out onto the damp grass. You look back at the court one last time, admiring its neat, colorful geometry resting in the shadows. It is a beautiful, peaceful sight. You turn and continue your slow walk through the park, letting the quiet environment soothe your mind. The trees around you seem to grow taller, their branches reaching out to form a soft, leafy canopy overhead. The ambient light of the city slowly fades, replaced by the gentle, even glow of a carefully designed interior space. The soft grass beneath your feet seamlessly transitions into a floor of highly polished, cream-colored linoleum. You are walking into another quiet corner of the giant's world, a space dedicated to the simple, steady flow of everyday life. You find yourself in the wide, clean aisle of a large retail store. It is the middle of the night, and the store is closed to the public. The main overhead fluorescent lights have been turned off, leaving only the soft, warm glow of the overnight security lighting. The store is incredibly quiet. The only sound is the very low, distant hum of the building's climate control system, a steady, reassuring vibration that keeps the air perfectly cool and dry. You walk slowly down the aisle, enjoying the absolute order and cleanliness of the space. The shelves on either side of you are perfectly stocked and neatly faced. There is no clutter, no confusion. Every item is exactly where it belongs. You breathe in the distinct, pleasant scent of a clean retail environment, a mix of fresh cardboard, new fabric, and the faint, citrusy smell of floor polish. It is a smell that represents quiet commerce, the organized provision of goods. You turn a corner and enter the shoe department. Here, the shelves are lined with hundreds of identical, brightly colored shoe boxes. They are stacked in perfect, uniform towers, creating a beautiful, repeating pattern that stretches down the length of the aisle. You walk along the row, looking at the neatly printed labels. These are not the exclusive, impossibly expensive shoes worn by elite athletes. These are the shoes the giant created for everyone else. They are sturdy, well-made, and accessible. You stop and gently rest your hand on top of one of the neatly stacked boxes. The cardboard is smooth and cool. You think about the quiet philosophy behind these boxes. The giant understood that true impact isn't just about reaching the highest peaks of luxury. It's also about creating a wide, solid base of support for everyday people. He used his immense presence to build a brand that quietly serves families, that provides quality without burden. The stillness of the shoe department is deeply comforting. It is the piece of a system that works perfectly, a system designed to be helpful and steady. You look at the rows of shoes, imagining the quiet joy of a child opening one of these boxes in the morning. That joy is currently resting right here, safely stored in the cardboard, waiting patiently in the dark. You feel a warm, gentle glow of satisfaction in your chest. It is the feeling of knowing that the world is being cared for in small, quiet ways. You continue your slow walk down the aisle. The polished linoleum reflects the soft security lights, creating a smooth, glowing path for you to follow. Your mind is completely clear, emptied of all the complicated, noisy thoughts of the day. You are just observing, just walking, just existing in the quiet, orderly space. The gentle hum of the air conditioning wraps around you, a soft sonic blanket that insulates you from the silence. As you walk, the long aisles of the store begin to widen. The stacked shoeboxes slowly blur and stretch, transforming into massive, dark shapes in the distance. The polished linoleum under your feet becomes soft, slightly uneven, and covered in a thick layer of cool, damp earth. The scent of cardboard and floor polish is swept away by a sudden, refreshing breeze that carries the smell of open fields, distant pine trees, and the crisp, clean air of a vast, open space. You have stepped out of the store and into the center of a massive, sprawling festival ground. It is the deep, quiet hour just before dawn. The event has been over for days. The tens of thousands of people, the bright lights, the booming music, they are all gone. The vast, open field has been returned to the quiet of nature. You stand in the middle of the incredibly large, grassy plain. The scale of the space is breathtaking. But in the stillness of the night, it feels entirely peaceful, not overwhelming. In the far distance, you can see the colossal, dark silhouette of the main stage. It stands like a sleeping, mechanical mountain against the starry sky. The giant stood on that stage, not with a basketball, but with the power of sound, controlling the energy of a massive crowd with the heavy, rhythmic drops of electronic music. But tonight the stage is silent. The massive arrays of speakers are turned off, their immense power resting quietly behind black mesh screens. The complex lighting rigs are dark, folded away in the shadows. The energy of the festival has completely dissipated, absorbed by the vast, open sky and the deep, cool earth. You walk slowly toward the distant stage. The ground beneath your feet is a mix of packed dirt and trampled grass. It is a surface that has held the weight of a joyous, dancing crowd, but now it only holds your quiet, solitary footsteps. You feel a sense of profound solitude in the vastness of the field. It is a comforting solitude. You are a tiny point of awareness in a massive, quiet universe. You stop walking and look up at the sky. Away from the lights of the city, the stars are incredibly bright and numerous. They form a brilliant, glittering canopy over the silent festival grounds. You take a deep, slow breath, pulling the crisp, cool air deep into your lungs. The air is incredibly fresh, tasting slightly of the damp grass in the distant pine forest. You let the breath out with a long, soft sigh, feeling the sheer scale of the space pulling the tension right out of your body. You imagine the giant standing here, long after the last fan has gone home. He looks out over the empty field, feeling the echoes of the bass still vibrating faintly in the earth. He knows the power of noise, the incredible force of a shared, loud experience. But he also knows the deep, necessary peace of the silence that follows. The contrast is what makes the experience whole. The loud, booming energy of the festival is balanced by the profound, absolute stillness of the empty field at dawn. You lower your gaze from the stars and look toward a small, grassy hill near the edge of the festival grounds. You walk slowly toward it, the cool breeze gently brushing against your face. The breeze is a soft, continuous whisper, a natural white noise that further calms your mind. You reach the top of the small hill and sit down on the damp grass. From this vantage point, you can survey the entire quiet expanse. The dark shape of the stage, the wide, empty field, the distant line of trees marking the boundary of the grounds. It is a landscape of rest. You lean back, resting your weight on your hands, and feel the solid, cool earth beneath you. You are anchored. You are grounded. You are perfectly safe in the vast, quiet space. You let your eyes slowly close, listening to the gentle sound of the wind moving across the open field. It is a slow, rhythmic sighing sound. It sounds like the earth itself is breathing, a slow, deep inhalation followed by a long, peaceful exhalation. You synchronize your own breathing with the sound of the wind. You breathe in the quiet night. You breathe out the lingering thoughts of the day. In and out, slow and calm. The immense space of the festival grounds is now inside your mind, a vast, empty room where you can simply rest. There are no walls, no boundaries, no limitations. There is only the gentle, sweeping breeze and the soft, cool earth. You feel your body becoming heavier, sinking deeper into the grass. The muscles in your legs are completely relaxed. Your arms are heavy and still. Your jaw is loose. The dark silhouette of the sleeping stage slowly fades from your mind, replaced by the soft, familiar darkness of your own room. The cool breeze of the field transforms into the gentle, perfectly regulated air of your bedroom. The damp grass beneath you becomes the incredibly soft, supportive mattress of your bed. You are returning to your own quiet sanctuary, carrying the profound peace of the giant's world with you. You have walked through the empty arenas, the silent studios, the quiet warehouses, and the vast, resting fields. You have seen how a life of immense scale is supported by a foundation of deep, necessary stillness. You have gathered that stillness and woven it into your own rest. You lie completely still in your bed. You feel the weight of the blankets covering you, a warm, protective layer that insulates you from the world. You feel the soft pillows cradling your head, supporting your neck perfectly. You are enveloped in comfort. You are entirely secure. You bring your attention to your toes. You feel a gentle, warm wave of relaxation wash over them, releasing any remaining tension. The wave moves slowly up your feet, through your arches and into your heels. Your feet are completely heavy, completely at rest. The warm wave of relaxation continues its slow journey. It moves up through your ankles and into your calves, smoothing out the muscles, leaving them soft and slack. It flows over your knees and into your thighs, sinking deep into the heavy muscles of your legs. Your entire lower body is now anchored to the bed, completely surrendered to the pull of gravity. The wave moves up into your hips and your pelvis, releasing any tightness, allowing your body to sink even deeper into the mattress. It flows up your back, vertebra by vertebra, melting away the tension that has accumulated throughout the day. Your spine feels long, relaxed, and perfectly supported. The warm, heavy feeling spreads across your stomach and your chest. You notice how effortlessly your chest rises and falls with each breath. It is a slow, automatic rhythm, a gentle rocking motion that lulls you deeper into a state of profound peace. You don't have to force the breath. You just let it happen, a natural, soothing cycle. The wave of relaxation flows over your shoulders, those strong muscles that carry so much weight. You feel them drop, softening into the mattress. The warmth travels down your arms, past your elbows, through your wrists, and into your hands. Your fingers curl slightly, completely relaxed, entirely still. Finally, the gentle wave of relaxation moves up your neck and into your head. It smooths away the tiny lines of concentration on your forehead. It relaxes the muscles around your eyes, allowing them to rest heavily in their sockets. It releases your jaw, letting your teeth part slightly. Your entire face is soft, calm, and peaceful. Your whole body is now enveloped in a thick, comfortable heaviness. You are floating on a dark, quiet sea of sleep. The giant's world is a distant, gentle memory, a quiet hum in the background of your mind. You are completely alone, yet you feel entirely supported and protected. The darkness behind your eyelids is a rich, warm space. It is a canvas where dreams will soon begin to paint their soft, blurry pictures. But for now, you are content to simply rest in the void. You are content to be nothing, to do nothing, to simply exist in the quiet comfort of your bed. You take one last, slow, deep breath, savoring the feeling of the cool, clean air entering your body. You let it out with a soft, almost silent sigh. The last remnants of the waking world slip away, dissolving into the peaceful night. You are crossing the threshold. You are entering the deep, quiet, restorative space of true sleep. The journey continues, not through places or memories, but deeper into the layers of rest. You are sinking down, down, down into a place of absolute calm. The gentle rhythm of your breathing is the only sound. The soft weight of the blankets is the only sensation. The dark, quiet sea of sleep holds you gently, rocking you with the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. You are suspended in a perfect, weightless state, far removed from the waking world. The giant's legacy of peace has become your own, a protective shield of stillness that keeps you safe and warm. As you drift on this calm ocean of rest, the absolute darkness behind your eyes begins to soften, turning from a deep, impenetrable black into a rich, velvety twilight blue. The feeling of floating remains, but it slowly shifts from an abstract sensation into a gentle, physical reality. You are no longer just floating in sleep. You are floating on the calm, glassy surface of a slow-moving river. You find yourself resting comfortably on the wide, padded leather seat of a beautifully crafted wooden boat. It is early morning, long before the sun has begun to warm the air. The Florida River is a smooth, dark mirror, perfectly reflecting the deep blue of the pre-dawn sky and the imposing, quiet silhouettes of the ancient cypress trees that line the banks. The air is cool, heavy, and thick with the smell of freshwater, damp earth, and the sweet, lingering scent of night-blooming jasmine. The boat moves forward with a barely perceptible motion. The engine is a low, muffled hum deep beneath the wooden deck, a steady, rhythmic vibration that travels up through the leather seat and into your body, relaxing your muscles even further. It is a deeply soothing sound, like the purr of a massive, sleeping cat. The water parts smoothly at the bow, creating a pair of gentle, dark ripples that fan out perfectly toward the tree-lined shores. You sit up slightly, resting your arm on the polished mahogany edge of the boat. The wood is cool and slick with morning dew. You look out over the water. A thick layer of white mist hovers just inches above the surface, swirling lazily in the boat's gentle wake. The mist looks like a soft, downy blanket covering the sleeping river. The giant loved the water. For a man of such immense size and weight, the water offered a profound sense of lightness and freedom. Out here on the slow-moving river, he was not bound by the heavy pull of gravity in the same way. The boat carried him effortlessly. The water supported him without strain. It was a place where he could sit in total silence, away from the flashing cameras, the echoing arenas, and the endless demands of his schedule, and simply watch the world wake up. You imagine him sitting in the captain's chair, his large hands resting lightly on the polished wooden steering wheel. He doesn't need to make any sharp turns or sudden movements. He just lets the boat follow the natural, winding path of the river. He watches the dark shapes of the trees gliding past, the long curtains of Spanish moss hanging perfectly still in the humid air. He listens to the quiet splash of a fish breaking the surface in the distance, a sound that only emphasizes the deep quiet of the morning. You take a long, slow breath of the cool river air. It fills your lungs with a clean, earthy freshness. You let it out with a soft sigh, watching your breath mingle briefly with the mist on the water. You feel completely secure on this sturdy wooden vessel. The low hum of the engine is a constant reassurance, a heartbeat of forward motion that requires no effort from you. As the boat slowly navigates a gentle bend in the river, the sky above the trees begins to change. The deep twilight blue slowly gives way to a soft, delicate shade of lavender, which in turn fades into a pale, dusty rose along the horizon. The light arrives with incredible slowness, a peaceful unfolding of the day. The mist on the water begins to glow with a faint, pearlescent light. You lean back into the wide leather seat, feeling the soft padding contour to your back. The gentle rocking of the boat is hypnotic, side to side, forward and back, a microscopic swaying dance that lulls you deeper into a state of absolute relaxation. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the low hum of the engine and the gentle rocking motion wash away any lingering thoughts. You are simply a passenger on a quiet journey, moving gracefully through a peaceful world. The slow, steady progression of the boat carries you further down the river, until the water begins to widen and the dense cypress trees slowly recede. The scent of the fresh water fades, replaced by the crisp, dry air of a highly climate-controlled environment. The gentle rocking motion of the boat gradually slows to a halt, and the low hum of the engine dissolves into the perfectly silent, ambient quiet of a vast interior space. You open your eyes and find yourself sitting in a magnificent, high-backed leather chair at the end of a long, polished walnut table. You are in a colossal boardroom, located on one of the highest floors of a gleaming city skyscraper. It is still very early in the morning. The room is softly lit by a row of recessed ceiling lights, casting a warm, amber glow over the rich wood paneling and the thick, sound-absorbing carpet. The most striking feature of the room is the enormous, floor-to-ceiling glass window that spans the entire length of the far wall. Through the glass, you can see the vast, sleeping city spread out below, a sea of dark geometric shapes dotted with the last few twinkling lights of the night. The sky outside is a breathtaking canvas of peach and gold, the sun just beginning its slow ascent over the distant horizon. This is the very top of the giant's empire. This is the room where decisions are made, where futures are shaped, and where the quiet, deliberate planning of a vast business network takes place. But right now, the boardroom is completely empty. The heavy leather chairs surrounding the long table are perfectly aligned. There are no stacks of paper, no glowing laptops, no tense negotiations. The room is at rest, waiting patiently for the business of the day to begin. You rest your hands flat on the cool, smooth surface of the walnut table. The wood grain is incredibly tight and beautiful, a testament to slow, patient growth. You look out through the massive window, watching the golden light of the dawn slowly spread across the tops of the skyscrapers. The glass is perfectly clear and thick, sealing away all the noise and chaos of the city below. From up here, the world looks orderly, peaceful, and entirely manageable. You imagine the giant arriving here early, long before his staff, long before the phones begin to ring. He takes the elevator up in silence, stepping into the quiet boardroom to watch the sun rise. He is a man who understands the power of preparation. He knows that the best decisions are made not in the heat of the moment, but in the cool, quiet spaces of reflection. He sits in this very chair, drinking a cup of warm tea, looking out over the empire he has built, and feeling a deep, quiet sense of responsibility and peace. You absorb that feeling of quiet authority. It is not an anxious or demanding feeling. It is a feeling of immense stability. It is the peace of knowing that you have built a strong foundation, that you have done the work, and that you are ready for whatever the day brings. You take a slow, deep breath, letting the crisp, clean air of the boardroom fill your lungs. You let it out slowly, feeling the muscles in your neck and shoulders release. You turn your head to look at a large, framed photograph hanging on the wood-paneled wall. It is a black and white image of a young boy holding a worn basketball, standing on a cracked asphalt court in Newark. The boy is looking directly at the camera with a quiet, determined expression. The contrast between the humble origins in the photograph and the magnificent, silent power of the boardroom is profound. It is a visual reminder of the long, patient journey of growth. You continue to sit in the heavy leather chair, letting the golden light of the sunrise wash over you. The light is warm and gentle, bringing a soft illumination to the dark wood and the thick carpet. The absolute silence of the room is a luxury, a rare and precious commodity in a busy world. You let yourself sink deeply into that silence. You let it wrap around you, a protective barrier against stress and hurry. As the sun rises a fraction higher, the golden light in the room begins to soften, shifting from a bright dawn into a warm, diffused glow. The sharp lines of the long walnut table and the tall glass windows gently blur, and the crisp, dry air of the boardroom becomes slightly warmer, infused with the soothing, herbal scent of eucalyptus and lavender. The environment is shifting again, carrying you softly into a space dedicated entirely to healing and recovery. You find yourself lying on your back on a thick, incredibly soft mat in the center of a private, state-of-the-art recovery room. The lighting here is intentionally low and warm, designed to soothe tired eyes and calm the nervous system. The walls are painted a deep, matte charcoal, and the floor is covered in a specialized, impact-absorbing material that feels like a dense, supportive cushion beneath you. The air is perfectly still and comfortably warm, wrapping around you like a gentle embrace. The scent of the eucalyptus clears your mind, while the lavender lulls your body into a state of deep, heavy relaxation. This room is a sanctuary for the physical form, a place where a giant comes to mend, to stretch, and to repay the immense debt owed to a body that has carried so much weight and performed such incredible feats. You lie perfectly still on the soft mat, feeling the solid, even support beneath your spine. You look up at the ceiling, which is featureless and smooth, painted the same calming charcoal color. There is nothing to distract you here. There are no heavy weights, no complicated machines, no clocks ticking on the wall. There is only the quiet space and the gentle, herbal air. You imagine the giant in this room, moving with surprising slowness and care. After the roaring crowds and the violent physical impact of the game, this is where the true work of longevity happens. The slow, methodical stretching of massive muscles, the quiet application of ice and heat, the deep, focused breathing required to release the deep-seated tension of competition. He understands that strength is not just about pushing outward. It is also about the quiet, patient process of drawing inward and repairing. You feel a sympathetic wave of relaxation wash over your own body. You focus your attention on your legs, those pillars of support that carry you through your day. You imagine a warm, soothing light enveloping your feet, your calves, your knees, and your thighs. The light slowly melts away any tightness, leaving your legs feeling incredibly heavy, sinking deeply into the soft mat. The warm, soothing light moves slowly up into your hips and your lower back. It circles your spine, gently easing apart the vertebrae, creating space and comfort. You feel your abdominal muscles soften and release. Your chest rises and falls with a slow, effortless rhythm. You are breathing in the healing scent of the room and breathing out any residual fatigue. The light travels up into your shoulders, those heavy joints that bear the weight of your responsibilities. You feel them drop heavily against the mat, completely surrendered to gravity. The warmth flows down your arms, past your elbows, and into your hands, leaving your fingers uncurled and perfectly still. Finally, the light washes over your neck and your head, smoothing away the lines on your forehead and relaxing your jaw. Your entire body is now a landscape of profound rest. You are experiencing the deep, necessary recovery of a giant. You realize that true endurance is built in these quiet, unseen moments of care. The stillness of the recovery room is a powerful medicine, a slow, steady return to balance. You lie there for a long time, simply enjoying the sensation of absolute physical comfort. The low, warm light of the recovery room begins to change, taking on a brighter, more focused quality. The scent of eucalyptus and lavender fades, replaced by the distinct, creative aroma of fresh paper, shaved graphite, dyed leather, and new rubber. The thick, soft mat beneath you slowly firms up, transforming into a wide, smooth drafting table. You are drifting into a new space, a quiet haven of creation and design. You are standing in a spacious, perfectly organized design studio. The walls are painted a clean, bright white, and the floor is made of pale, polished concrete. Large, frosted skylights allow a soft, shadowless daylight to filter down into the room, illuminating the various workstations. The studio is quiet, but it is a different kind of quiet than the empty arena or the resting boardroom. It is the quiet of focused, solitary work. You look down at the wide drafting table in front of you. It is covered in large sheets of thick, textured sketch paper. A set of high-quality graphite pencils, their tips perfectly sharpened, rests neatly in a small wooden tray. Next to the paper, several swatches of material are laid out. A square of supple black full-grain leather, a piece of breathable white athletic mesh, and a thick block of dense, shock-absorbing rubber. This is the birthplace of the Giants' footwear empire. This is where the massive, iconic shoes are conceptualized and refined. But the focus here is not just on creating a shoe for a man of extraordinary size. It is on creating a design that can be shared, a product that is accessible and affordable for families everywhere. The Giant's vision was to take the power of his brand and make it quietly available to those who needed it most. You reach out and touch the square of black leather. It is incredibly soft, yielding gently to your fingertips. You can feel the fine grain, the quality of the material. You move your hand to the block of rubber, pressing your thumb against its dense, resilient surface. It is designed to absorb impact, to provide a steady, reliable foundation. You imagine the giant standing at this drafting table, working alongside quiet, dedicated designers. He brings his immense, practical knowledge of what a shoe must withstand, while they bring their technical skill. They speak in low, focused voices, tracing lines on the paper, adjusting the curve of a sole, widening the base for better support. It is a slow, iterative process, a quiet building of something tangible and useful. You pull up a tall, wooden drafting stool and sit down at the table. You pick up one of the sharpened pencils. The wood of the pencil feels light and perfectly balanced in your hand. You rest the graphite tip gently against the thick paper, but you don't draw anything. You just hold it there, feeling the potential energy of the blank page. The simple act of holding the pencil is deeply calming. It connects you to the quiet, methodical world of creation. The studio is perfectly still. There are no ringing phones, no urgent emails, no rushing deadlines. There is only the soft, diffused light from the skylights and the clean, organized tools of the trade. You look across the room and notice a row of finished prototype shoes lined up on a long, white shelf. They range in size from tiny children's shoes to the massive, size 22 monoliths. They stand there quietly, a visual representation of the giant's reach, from the smallest fan to the man himself. You feel a sense of quiet satisfaction in this room. It is the peace of knowing that careful thought and deliberate action can create something good and lasting. You take a slow, deep breath, inhaling the scent of the leather and the graphite. It is the smell of quiet productivity. You let the breath out slowly, setting the pencil back into its wooden tray. You let your hands rest in your lap, completely relaxed. The bright, shadowless light of the design studio slowly begins to dim, the white walls turning a soft, dusky gray. The drafting table gently dissolves, and the polished concrete floor softens into the familiar, comforting texture of a thick bedroom carpet. The creative energy of the studio fades away, leaving behind only the pure, unadulterated sensation of deep relaxation. You are returning, once again, to the absolute safety of your own sleeping environment. You find yourself standing in a long, quiet hallway within the giant's sprawling home. The walls are covered in a soft, sound-absorbing fabric in a deep, restful shade of indigo. The only light comes from a series of small, warm wall sconces that cast a gentle, scalloped pattern of light onto the floor. You walk slowly down the hallway, your bare feet sinking into the plush carpet. The house is completely silent, wrapped in the deep slumber of the late night. You reach the end of the hallway and stand before a set of tall, heavy double doors made of dark, carved wood. The doors are slightly ajar, inviting you into the most private, peaceful space of all. You push one of the doors open gently. It moves without a sound, swinging inward on perfectly oiled hinges. You step into the giant's primary bedroom. The scale of the room is massive, but it feels incredibly intimate and secure. The ceiling is a dark, vaulted canopy, and the walls are painted a soothing matte slate gray. In the center of the room sits a bed of unimaginable proportions. It is a custom-built island of comfort, wide and long, covered in layers of the softest, heaviest linens and thick, down-filled duvets. The room is lit only by the pale, silver light of the moon streaming in through a row of tall, arched windows. The moonlight falls across the foot of the massive bed, highlighting the smooth, heavy drape of the blankets. You walk slowly toward the bed, feeling the profound stillness of the room. This is the ultimate sanctuary. This is where the giant comes to rest after carrying the weight of his empire. You reach the edge of the bed and gently press your hand into the mattress. It gives way instantly, soft and yielding, yet possessing a deep, supportive core. You climb up onto the bed, feeling the cool, crisp texture of the fine cotton sheets against your skin. You crawl slowly toward the center, surrounded by an expanse of soft pillows and heavy blankets. You lie down on your back, sinking deeply into the mattress. You pull the heavy duvet up over your chest. It feels like a warm, protective embrace, a gentle weight that anchors you to the bed and soothes your tired muscles. You let your head fall back into the pile of down pillows. They rise up around your ears, muffling the already absolute silence of the room. You are a small figure in this giant bed, but you do not feel lost. You feel incredibly safe, protected by the sheer scale of the comfort surrounding you. You look up at the dark, vaulted ceiling, letting your eyes adjust to the soft shadows. You take a slow, deep breath of the cool, clean air in the room. You hold it for a moment, savoring the feeling of total security, and then let it out with a long, slow sigh. Your body is completely relaxed. The tension in your legs is gone. Your back is perfectly supported. Your arms are heavy and still at your sides. Your mind is quiet and clear. You have traveled through the quiet spaces of a giant's life, and you have learned the value of his stillness. You have seen how a foundation of peace supports a life of immense power and reach. Now it is time to build your own foundation of rest. You close your eyes, shutting out the silver moonlight. The darkness behind your eyelids is a soft, warm velvet. You focus entirely on the physical sensations of your own breathing. The slow, gentle rise of your chest as you inhale. The soft, heavy fall of your chest as you exhale. In and out, slow and steady. You imagine the air you are breathing is a pale, soothing blue light. With every inhalation, the blue light enters your body, bringing a profound sense of calm to every cell. With every exhalation, you release a soft, gray mist, carrying away any remaining stress or worry. The blue light fills your lungs, travels down your arms, down your legs, and up into your head. You are glowing with a quiet internal peace. The gray mist dissipates entirely, leaving you clean, relaxed, and ready for deep sleep. You let go of the need to follow the story. You let go of the images of the boat, the boardroom, the studio, and the giant bed. You let everything fade away into a soft, comforting blur. The silence of the room is a physical presence, a thick, heavy blanket that wraps around you and protects your sleep. You feel yourself drifting down, sinking slowly through the soft layers of the mattress. You are floating again, not on a river or a dark sea, but simply in the endless, quiet space of your own mind. You are safe. You are warm. You are perfectly comfortable. The night is long and there is no rush. You have all the time in the world to simply rest. You surrender completely to the heavy, gentle pull of sleep. The heavy, gentle pull of sleep draws you further down into a space of absolute undisturbed tranquility. You are resting at the very bottom of a quiet ocean of dreams, where the currents of the waking world cannot reach you. The soft, dark velvet behind your eyes is a vast and empty canvas, completely free of the demands of the day. You feel the slow, steady rhythm of your breathing, a deeply reassuring movement that anchors you to this perfect state of rest. In and out, the air is cool and clean. The blankets are heavy and warm. You are perfectly secure. Slowly, the dark velvet canvas begins to soften, transforming into the deep, rich indigo of a clear night sky. The air around you changes from the crisp, climate-controlled atmosphere of the bedroom to a naturally warm, wonderfully humid breeze. You are no longer lying in the giant's massive bed. You are standing on a wide, beautifully manicured lawn. It is the middle of the night on a peaceful university campus in Miami, Florida. The campus is fast asleep, wrapped in the quiet embrace of the subtropical night. You walk slowly across the damp grass, your footsteps making no sound. The air is thick with the sweet, intoxicating scent of night-blooming jasmine and the earthy aroma of the nearby ocean. Tall, graceful palm trees line the quiet walkways, their long, feather-like fronds swaying with an incredibly slow, hypnotic rhythm in the gentle breeze. The sound of the wind moving through the palm leaves is a soft, dry rustle, a natural whisper that sweeps away any remaining thoughts from your mind. You step off the grass and onto a pathway made of smooth, warm paving stones. The stones have absorbed the intense heat of the Florida sun throughout the day, and now, in the cool of the night, they radiate that warmth gently upward. It feels incredibly soothing against the soles of your feet. You follow the pathway as it winds its way between a series of low, elegant buildings with pale stucco walls and dark terracotta tile roofs. The buildings are dark and silent, their windows reflecting the silver light of a bright, full moon. This is an environment dedicated entirely to the quiet pursuit of knowledge. It is a place where the giant, despite his immense fame and towering physical presence, came to be a student. He walked these very paths, carrying heavy textbooks, seeking an education with the same quiet determination he brought to the basketball court. He understood that true growth happens in the quiet moments of study, long after the crowds have dispersed. You approach a large, stately building at the center of the campus. It is the university library. The heavy glass doors are locked for the night, but the interior is softly illuminated by a few warm, amber security lights. You walk up to the glass and peer inside. The library is a sanctuary of absolute stillness. Rows upon rows of tall wooden bookshelves stretch back into the shadows, holding the accumulated wisdom of thousands of minds. You imagine the giant sitting at one of the large oak tables near the back of the room. It is late at night, and he is the only student left in the building. A single brass reading lamp casts a pool of warm light onto his notebook. He is studying for his doctorate, reading complex texts on organizational learning and leadership. His large hands turn the delicate pages of the book with surprising gentleness. He is completely absorbed in the work, perfectly content in the silence. The image is profoundly calming. It is the peace of a focused mind, a mind that is not reacting to the chaos of the world, but quietly building its own internal architecture. You lean your forehead against the cool glass of the library door, absorbing the serene energy of the space. You take a long, slow breath, inhaling the warm, fragrant Florida air. You let it out with a soft sigh, feeling a deep sense of respect for the quiet dedication that built the giant's intellect. You turn away from the library and continue your slow walk along the moonlit pathway. The campus is a safe, enclosed world, a bubble of peace in the middle of a busy city. The slow rustle of the palm fronds and the gentle warmth of the paving stones are the only sensations you need to focus on. You are moving without effort, simply gliding through the beautiful, sleeping landscape. As you walk, the pale stucco walls of the university buildings begin to gently fade, dissolving into the warm, humid air. The scent of jasmine is slowly replaced by the clean, distinct smell of polished stainless steel, fresh cardboard, and the faint, lingering aroma of baked bread. The paving stones beneath your feet transform into a floor of perfectly smooth, highly durable dark red tile. You are stepping into another quiet cornerstone of the giant's world. You find yourself standing in the kitchen of a commercial franchise restaurant. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and the restaurant has been closed for hours. The bright, energetic lights of the dining room are turned off, leaving only the soft, muted glow of the kitchen's overnight lighting. The space is impeccably clean. The stainless steel countertops gleam softly in the dim light. The floors have been swept and mopped, leaving the air smelling faintly of clean, soapy water. This is one of the many businesses the giant owns. It is a completely different kind of empire than the glitz and glamour of professional sports. It is an empire built on steady, reliable systems, on providing jobs for the community, and on creating simple, accessible joy for families. Tonight, the heavy, commercial-grade ovens are turned off and cool to the touch. The massive dough mixers stand quietly in the corner, their stainless steel bowls empty and shining. You walk slowly through the quiet kitchen, running your hand lightly along the edge of a cool metal prep table. The silence here is a functional silence. It is the deep rest that occurs between shifts, the necessary pause that allows the machinery and the space to recover before the busy work begins again tomorrow. You can hear the low, steady, reassuring hum of the large walk-in refrigerators at the back of the kitchen. It is a constant, rhythmic sound, a mechanical heartbeat that keeps the food safe and fresh. You walk toward the front counter and look out into the dark dining room. The chairs are neatly stacked upside down on top of the tables. The soda fountains are wiped clean. The large glass windows looking out onto the street are dark. The restaurant is a quiet, orderly vessel, waiting patiently for the morning crew to arrive and bring it back to life. You feel a sense of profound stability in this space. It is the peace of a well-run system, of a business that functions smoothly and predictably. The giant understands the value of this kind of predictability. After a life spent in the unpredictable, high-stakes world of professional competition, the quiet, steady rhythm of a franchise business offers a deeply comforting contrast. It is a foundation that does not shake. You pull up a small, sturdy stool behind the counter and sit down. You rest your arms on the cool metal surface of the cash register station. You close your eyes and listen to the low hum of the refrigerators. It is a soothing, continuous drone that fills the empty room. You let your breathing synchronize with that hum. Inhale, a slow, steady draw of cool air. Exhale, a long, smooth release of tension. The quiet of the restaurant wraps around you, a safe, uncomplicated space where nothing is expected of you. There are no orders to take, no food to prepare, no customers to serve. There is only the clean, resting machinery and the absolute stillness of the night. You let your body become heavy, sinking down into the small stool. Your legs are completely relaxed. Your shoulders drop down away from your ears. You are entirely at peace in this simple, quiet room. The soft hum of the refrigerators begins to fade, blending smoothly into a new, slightly different sound. It is the sound of incredibly faint, rhythmic squeaking, like the sound of rubber shoes on a polished floor, but echoing from very far away. The red tiles of the kitchen floor softly blur and shift, transforming into a wide expanse of pale, highly polished linoleum. The scent of baked bread is replaced by the smell of floor wax, fresh crayons, and old paper. You are now standing in the main hallway of a local boys and girls club. It is the dead of night, and the building is completely empty and securely locked. The long hallway is illuminated by a few widely spaced emergency lights, casting long, soft shadows across the shining floor. The walls are covered in colorful bulletin boards, displaying finger paintings, construction paper collages, and handwritten stories created by the children who spend their afternoons here. This is a space of pure giving, a crucial part of the giant's quiet legacy. He provides the resources to keep places like this open, creating safe, warm environments for children to learn and play. But right now, the joyful noise and chaotic energy of the children are completely absent. The building is resting, enveloped in a deep, protective silence. You walk slowly down the hallway, your footsteps making no sound on the freshly waxed floor. You stop and look at one of the bulletin boards. In the dim light, the bright colors of the children's artwork are muted and soft. You see a painting of a massive, smiling figure holding a basketball, surrounded by smaller, equally happy figures. It is a quiet, innocent tribute to the giant's generosity. You feel a profound warmth spreading through your chest. It is the comfort of knowing that there are safe spaces in the world, places built purely for the protection and nurturing of the young. The silence of the community center is not empty. It is filled with the residual energy of joy and safety. It is a heavy, comforting silence, like a thick blanket wrapped around the building. You continue down the hallway and enter the main recreation room. It is a large, open space. In one corner, a cluster of worn, comfortable couches sits around a dark television set. In another corner, a row of folding tables is set up for homework and art projects. The chairs are pushed in neatly. The boxes of markers and colored pencils are closed and stacked. You walk over to one of the soft, worn couches and sit down. The cushions are deep and forgiving, swallowing your weight immediately. You lean your head back and look across the quiet room. The moonlight filters through the high windows, casting pale, rectangular shapes onto the polished floor. You feel incredibly safe here. This is a sanctuary designed to keep the harshness of the world outside, and you are resting perfectly within its protective walls. You close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath, inhaling the nostalgic scent of the crayons and the floor wax. It is a smell that brings back the simple, uncomplicated feelings of childhood. You let the breath out with a soft, long sigh. You feel the tension in your jaw release entirely. The muscles in your neck become soft and loose. You are heavy, warm, and completely relaxed, sinking deeper into the soft cushions of the couch. The image of the quiet recreation room begins to gently recede, folding softly into the darkness of your mind. The scent of floor wax fades, replaced by the incredibly distinct, rich aroma of old paper sleeves, warm vinyl, and the faint, ozone smell of high-end audio equipment. The worn couch beneath you transforms into a deeply tufted, luxurious velvet armchair. The environment is shifting once again, carrying you into a small, deeply personal sanctuary. You find yourself sitting in the giant's private record room. It is a small, acoustically perfect space, completely isolated from the rest of his massive home. The walls are lined from floor to ceiling with custom-built wooden shelves, entirely filled with thousands of vinyl records. The lighting is incredibly low and warm, provided by a single, vintage lamp with a heavy, fringed shade sitting on a small side table. This room is dedicated solely to the tactile, intentional experience of listening to music. In a world of instant digital noise, the giant comes here to slow down. He comes here to carefully select a record, slide it from its cardboard sleeve, and place it gently on the heavy platter of the turntable. He understands the quiet ritual of music, the deliberate physical actions required to create sound. Tonight, however, the turntable is silent. The heavy silver tone arm rests securely in its cradle. The amplifier is powered on, its tubes glowing with a soft, warm orange light that matches the ambient glow of the vintage lamp, but the volume is turned all the way down. The room is filled with a dense, insulated silence. The thick acoustic panels hidden behind the shelves absorb every stray sound, creating a feeling of absolute, pure quiet. You sit in the deep velvet armchair, feeling the incredibly soft fabric against your skin. The chair is massive, built to accommodate his large frame, which means you are completely enveloped within it. You rest your arms on the wide armrests and let your head sink back into the tufted velvet. The room feels like a warm, protective cocoon. You look at the walls of records surrounding you. They are a library of emotion, a vast collection of voices, rhythms, and melodies, all resting peacefully in their sleeves. The sheer volume of organized music is deeply calming. It represents a lifetime of listening, of collecting moments and memories in the form of sound. You feel a sense of profound stillness in knowing that all that music is right there, waiting patiently, demanding nothing of you right now. You focus your attention on the soft, orange glow of the amplifier tubes. They are a steady, warm presence in the dim room. You watch the light, letting its gentle intensity soothe your eyes. The low, warm light is hypnotic, a tiny, silent fire burning in the dark. You let your breathing match the slow, steady emanation of heat from the tubes. Inhale, slow and deep. Exhale, long and releasing. The silence of the record room is the deepest silence you have experienced yet. It is a heavy, physical quiet that presses gently against your ears, blocking out the entire world. You feel completely isolated in the best possible way. There is no one to talk to, nothing to do, nothing to listen to except the incredibly slow, steady beating of your own heart. You let your body surrender entirely to the velvet armchair. You feel the weight of your legs pulling you down, anchoring you to the present moment. You feel your arms become incredibly heavy, as if they were made of solid lead. The tension in your chest dissolves, allowing your lungs to expand effortlessly with every breath. Your neck and head are completely supported by the soft velvet. You are a picture of perfect, undisturbed rest. The warm, orange glow of the amplifier tubes begins to slowly dim, fading away into a soft, comforting darkness. The shelves of records blur and disappear. The heavy velvet armchair gently flattens out, transforming back into the incredibly soft, familiar expanse of your own bed. The transition is so smooth, so natural that you barely notice it happening. You are simply returning to the physical reality of your own quiet room. You are lying on your back, perfectly aligned and completely relaxed. The heavy blankets are draped over you, providing a perfect layer of warmth. The pillows cradle your head, keeping your neck perfectly straight and supported. You are back where you started, but you have brought the profound peace of the giant's world with you. The quiet focus of the university library. The steady reliability of the resting restaurant, the protective warmth of the community center, and the dense, insulated silence of the record room. All of these feelings are now woven into the fabric of your own rest. They form a thick, protective barrier around your mind, keeping the stress and worry of the waking world far away. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the cool air of your bedroom enter your nose. You follow the breath as it travels down into your chest, filling your lungs completely. You hold it for a single, peaceful second and then release it with a long, soft sigh. You feel your body sink a fraction of an inch deeper into the mattress. You are incredibly heavy, incredibly still. You bring your attention to the top of your head. You imagine a soft, warm light resting there, a gentle energy that soothes the scalp and releases any lingering tightness. Slowly, this warm light begins to flow downward like a thick, slow-moving liquid. It washes over your forehead, smoothing away all lines of expression. It flows over your eyes, relaxing the tiny muscles around them, allowing your eyelids to rest heavily. The warm light travels down your cheeks and your jaw. You let your teeth part slightly, releasing any clenching or tension in your mouth. The light flows down your neck and into your shoulders, those strong muscles that carry so much weight during the day. You feel them drop heavily into the mattress, completely surrendered to the pull of gravity. The soothing warmth continues its slow journey, flowing down your arms. It moves past your elbows, through your forearms, and into your wrists. It washes into your hands, relaxing every single joint, leaving your fingers curled slightly and perfectly still. Your arms feel completely weightless, resting peacefully at your sides. The light moves down your chest and your back. It flows around your rib cage, easing the muscles that assist your breathing, making every inhalation and exhalation feel entirely effortless. It washes over your stomach, releasing any deep-seated knots or anxiety. Your entire torso is bathed in this warm, comforting energy. The relaxation flows down into your hips and your pelvis, creating a feeling of deep, grounded stability. It moves into your thighs, sinking into the large, heavy muscles of your legs. It travels over your knees, down your calves, and into your ankles. Finally, the warm light washes into your feet, relaxing your arches, your heels, and every single toe. Your entire body is now completely relaxed, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. You are a vessel of pure peace. The giant's legacy of quiet strength has become your own personal sanctuary. You are safe. You are warm. You are perfectly comfortable. You let your mind drift in the soft, dark space behind your closed eyes. The images of the day have completely faded away, leaving only a vast, empty expanse of quiet. You are floating on a calm, dark sea, gently rocked by the slow, steady rhythm of your breathing. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to figure out, nothing to do. You are simply resting in the void. The night stretches out before you, an endless ocean of quiet time. You will sleep deeply, supported by the strong foundation you have built within your own mind. You will rest, and tomorrow you will wake feeling refreshed, grounded, and steady. But for now, there is only the gentle, beautiful darkness. There is only the peace of the sleeping world. Your thoughts become slower, quieter, until they finally stop altogether. You are suspended in a state of perfect stillness. You feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, a slow, hypnotic movement that rocks you gently to sleep. You breathe in the quiet night. You breathe out the lingering day. You are fully relaxed. You are entirely at peace.